and welcome everyone. We are here in beautiful Daytona, Florida. I'm Kalara Maynade, and this is Race Day Quad's 2019 MultiGP Drone Racing Championship presented by DRL. Now, earlier in the week, the league held their first ever sportsman championship comprised of the top 600 pilots in the world. And this week, it's all about the pros. That's right, this is the fastest of the fast. The creme de la creme, the top gun, as they would say, of all drone pilots. Let's go down and meet some of this week's contestants.
Hey guys, this is Heads Up FPV. Since last year of Nationals, it's been a whirlwind, I guess you could say. I've traveled all over the world. It's been an incredible opportunity. MultiGP has given me so many opportunities to travel with other leagues, do races of my own. I've been able to promote my own brand, get new sponsors and stuff, so this last year has been a year I'll never remember, and it's all thanks to MultiGP and drone racing. This year, the top 8, I think, there's a section of 4 pilots that are around like a tenth of a second apart, and it's just incredible how close that many guys can be, and it's all at the top level. So these guys are continuing to fight, and they're just fighting for those tenths of a second. So drone racing is starting to turn into car racing in sorts, where you're not just fighting for an extra second or two, you're fighting for fractions of a second, and it's really been an incredible way to see the sport grow. Yeah, I am the top qualifier right now. Obviously, I never want to let my guard down. There's so many top huts, like I was saying. The top 8 is separated within like at least 3 seconds. And these guys, it's definitely the most competitive year of drone racing that I've ever seen, for sure. And once you get in the top 10 in brackets, anything can happen. So it's really going to come down to luck, and then just whoever's day it is. So we're going to see what happens.
Nice. Ouch. Here's Ian Grower. He's getting 3 laps in. Last one, a 28.2. And he's upside down now. So he's down on this one, just waiting on one pilot to finish here. It looks like it's going to be.
Florida, USA. As the bright lights come up, it is now time for the Race Day Quads 2019 MultiGP Drone Racing Championships presented by DRL. It has been an exciting weekend, a journey of 1,100 pilots down to 120 competing here in Daytona Beach here on the championship weekend, down to our top 80. And as we continue working all through the day, we're down to your top 16 pilots getting set to wage battle. Of these 16, some of them, the top 8, getting their share of $10,000 in prize money. Some are going for twice a champion with MultiGP, one pilot going for a potential 3-peat championship, but all 16 pilots going for a contract on the 2020 season on Drone Racing League on NBC and Twitter. Pilot contracts, cash, and now it's time to meet the top 16 that you're about to see wage battle here at Daytona Stadium. We start things off with a pilot in the number 16 spot. Makes it to the champs from the number 44 position this season into our top 16 from Miami, Florida, Saber Maximiano Fernandez. He hit our podium in a World Cup race a year and a half ago. He's been top 5, top 3, going for his first championship as well, representing the great state of Michigan, qualifying 12th and now in the top 16 as well. John Chapman, Johnny Fly in 15th. It's an international field of 6 different countries represented in our championship weekend. Another 4 on our sport class weekend last weekend. Let's go north of that 49th parallel to a pilot qualified 31st to the trip to get here. Now inside of the top 16. He was top 4 last year, going for the win in 2019 from Vaughan, Ontario, Canada, Bull FPV. Now we take a trip to Mount Vernon, Illinois. Top 5 in qualifying this season inside of our top 16 in the number 13 position. That is Silas Aaron Propsicle. No stranger to our championship brackets as well. This year, 37th in the season, now in our top 16, making it to our championship bracket, number 12 spot this weekend. From Boston, Massachusetts, it's Liam Flanagan, Waffle. Storylines and drama. Our first ever MultiGP champion back in 2015. He won it back-to-back with his second championship in 2016. Now, back to the championship for a 3-peat possibility. From Albuquerque, New Mexico, Sean Taylor, you know him as Night Fury. 10th overall this weekend, 9th overall this season. No stranger to see him in our top 16. From Porter Ranch, California, Dolma FPV, Andy Marchillon. Climbing up that ladder, 34th this season, 9th this weekend into our championship brackets. Came out of that top 40 prelim brackets this morning. From Littleton, Massachusetts, in the number 9 spot, it's Beckett Verily Neukel. We remember the big championship last year in the regional series to make it to champs. He's got some challenge coins, going for a big one and a bunch of cash here tonight. Qualifying to our brackets in the number 8 seat. That's a jump from 47th this season. From Sunnyvale, California, Corey Ibanez Miwo FPV. Last year's North Central Region champion. This year, 11th overall in qualifying into the championship weekend. 7th overall in qualifying this weekend. From Waukee, Iowa, Christian Van Sloan Amari. It's a little chilly, and we do have some Floridians with us. 22nd overall in qualifying this 2019 season. This weekend in the number 6 slot. From Melbourne, Florida, Mason Lively, it's Hyper. We go to your top 5. This season was 3rd overall on the global leaderboard at MultiGP.com. Maintains that position, the number 5 spot this weekend into our top 16. He calls Daytona Beach, Florida home. He's a hometown pilot. Patrick White, engineer in the number 5. It's an international field in our top 16 as well, qualified after just 2 packs on the global qualifying course at the International Open. The International Open in Muncie, Indiana is almost the house that he built, as he's a 2-time World Cup champion with MultiGP in Muncie. Now he makes the trip to Florida, representing Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. In the number 4 spot this weekend, Thomas Bitmata, BMS Thomas. We were watching him at the 1 point leading on the track in the number 3 spot this weekend in qualifying. One of our big selections to do some damage, hitting a podium or maybe a DRL contract. From Los Angeles, California, Ashton Gamble, Drobot Racer. we look to the storylines that you're going to see play out last year and this year. In 2017, he was a multi-GP champion. 2018, he was a reserve champion, looking for his second multi-GP championship. He was within reach. Second overall this season, second overall in qualifying this weekend, going for the win tonight from Roanoke, Texas, Alex Vanover, Captain Vanover. And the storyline continues. Another pilot going for his second multi-GP championship. He's last year's champ and reigning champ rolling into this weekend. He was first in qualifying on the global leaderboard. First in qualifying this weekend as your TQ. From Maryville, Tennessee, Evan Turner, heads up FPV. And as we pan back, how about we take a look? These are your top 16 from a field of 1,100 pilots. These 16 will battle it out for $10,000 and a DRL contract as they get ready to come in, warm up, and get ready to fly one more time in-house. Make some noise for your Championship 16. And as we get set for heat number 1, Drobot Racer, Hyper, Night Fury, and Bull FPV, they're still taking some photos while we have a brief second. If you're enjoying our live stream here tonight, all weekend long, it's brought to you by GetFPV.com along with ORQA. This live stream brought to you by GetFPV.com and ORQA, and we are very fortunate. We talk about all those big plane tickets as we have with us a representative from ORQA Goggles, and a lot of people recognize them from all those videos, the Kickstarter videos as well, representing the ORQA brand. This is Ivan. What a great championship weekend, and we're very excited that the first ORQA Goggles official ones to land on U.S. soil were here this weekend. You're giving everyone a chance to see the new ORQA Goggles. We've been talking about them, but what have you thought about this U.S. event, the MultiGP Championship, Global Leaderboard, Global Championship? How's your weekend been?
I don't know what would be the better place than MultiGP National Championship to roll out our product launch. So these 3 days have been like very, very instrumental for our development and our company. So we have like all of the top pilots in the world testing our goggles, giving the impressions, and I'm super happy that they're all positive and we're here to stay. And I'm very much looking forward to continue this cooperation with MultiGP because here is where racing community is born and raised. So I'm very excited to keep working with MultiGP.
We're very excited to have you again. We've been live streaming a lot of the qualifying and, of course, our championship bracket and our consolation top 16 bracket. And that is thanks to GetFPV.com and ORQA. And you guys have a great partnership with GetFPV.com for this product rollout.
Exactly. So GetFPV is a great partner to distribute FPV products. So for us, like MultiGP, they're instrumental for our rollout in the market. We come from Europe, from a small country. We're also pilots. Like our company counts 23 engineers, and like 20 of us are pilots. So it's really a great thing to be partnering with such big names like GetFPV and MultiGP. I'm very excited.
And the feedback this weekend, I've heard it, I've even seen it on social media. A lot of pilots really excited to finally put their hands on it and go goggles deep into those ORQA goggles. What have been some of the feedback that you've heard from the pilots directly? Like, they're not telling you any lies, are they? They're telling you straight up. And for the most part, it's been all great news. Everyone excited to see the goggles.
Yeah, of course I'm biased. I'm one of the founders of the company. But speaking honestly, they really love the image. They like the features and expandability of the product. So when you buy these goggles, they're going to evolve through the time. And they're going to, with every new update, you're going to get new feature, new feature, new feature. So I think like FPV community is all about improvements and getting better. Our goggles are the same. So you buy it and you work on them and they get better and better and better. So this is why I think all the best pilots, probably from next race, most of them will be flying ORQAs. And I'm really looking forward to see ORQAs being worn by some top pilots out there.
Perfect. Yeah, of course, you know those features and benefits. There's many of them listed. Of course, you can pre-order your ORQA goggles right now at getfpv.com. Known for those beautiful OLED screens, those big screens inside. Of course, the DVR, the best DVR in goggles in the industry, and many, many other features and benefits. Works with all the top name modules, the receiver modules, and more, taking all those different feeds. FPV, delectable goodness. Thank you so much for your support, ORQA goggles, with us. Ivan, thank you. It's been a pleasure to meet you. And try and warm up, but you're going to stick around for a lot more racing, aren't you?
Yes, of course I will. I'm going to stick around until the finals end, and good luck, everyone. Thanks.
All right, thanks again. ORQA goggles, along with Get FPV, bringing us our Race Day Quads MultiGP 2019 Championship, presented by DRL Drone Racing League. We have so many races to get to. We have so many people to talk to. We have all the celebrities in the house here tonight. We have so many great representatives like Ivan, one of the founders of ORQA Goggles. We have Roy, the marketing director of Get FPV. We talked to Steampunk himself, Andy from Get FPV.
Yep.
We got Joel from Hydra. We have the entire cast and crew were here with us last week from iFlight. Of course, we have Tyler Brennan and Buddy from RacedayQuads.com helping us out with the drone delivery. All the great partners. And, of course, DRL. We have the two-time DRL champion in the house, Jordan Temkin. We might get a chance to talk with him tonight. We have the reigning DRL champion, Nurk, is with us here in the house tonight. We have Canoodle, Tony Niddle in the house with us tonight. Lots of DRL celebrities, and maybe a brand new DRL superstar as well being crowned tonight as the winner of this. As long as they're 16 years age and older, getting a 2020 DRL contract. That's going to be exciting, isn't it?
Big, yeah.
So that field, 1,100 pilots worldwide attending a global qualifier, which was hosted on a standardized course designed by MultiGP, released to the masses, and 1,100 pilots flew it one time, some of them attending like 13 global qualifiers to comprise our global leaderboard. From there, we invited positions 200 to 300 last weekend to our Sport Class Championship, and for this weekend, our MultiGP Championship weekend, we invited the top 200 positions. Of that, few people had other things going on, maybe they felt it wasn't their year, and 120 pilots visiting with us and flying our courses. 10 packs of practice between courses 1 and 2, 9 packs of qualifying between courses 1 and 2 to take our field down to 80, competing in more brackets and eliminations. To this point where we're at right now, the final 16, and maybe 14 races, maybe more.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. A lot of fast racers coming in these heats here.
We had a chance to see them, and very rare to actually see what they look like.
Yeah.
We see those FPV feeds, and sometimes you can recognize them. Of course, if it's super fast, on the gas, going fast, as they say. And this one, we're going to start things off with Drobot racer Hyper, Night Fury, and Bull FPV. Bull FPV was third on our podium last year. Coming in hot here into this championship. We just watched him won the North American Masters up in Buffalo, New York this summer. He also won the Canadian Championships, I think twice now, 3 times running in Ottawa. So he's coming in hot. Drobot racer, third overall in qualifying. Hyper has just been flying smooth, works his way from 22nd up into 6th. And Night Fury, we talked about him in the introductions. There's a guy going for his 3-peat. How awesome would it be to see Night Fury be our first ever 3-time MultiGP champion?
That's going to be pretty crazy if you can pull it off.
We got full video. It's heat number 1. You want to take a little look? There's a look at our stadium. All the fans in the stadium here tonight. It's a little cold at 51 degrees. Here we are. A little precursor to how they're seated. All this qualifying was not for naught. So in our first heat, we have 3rd, 6th, 11th, and 14th getting set to battle. Our TQ, of course, heads up FPV, who goes in a bracket with a guy who just made the cut, and that was Saber, who came out of our preliminary eliminations earlier this morning. Top 2 move up in the winner's bracket. Bottom 2 move on in the consolation bracket. We'll have an Ironman we'll talk about in just a little bit in Chase the Ace, but let's go green with your first heat of many of the championship top 16. Good luck, pilots. Remember, the flight line is our house, and be respectful in our house. Please do not distract pilots or otherwise. Keep it chill in the flight line. Good luck, pilots. Arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5.
Off to the races they go. It's going to be Night Fury with a whole shot with Bull FPV on his heels. Hyper, then Drobot. Hyper biting the dust as he goes down into that turf.
Might be able to turtle mode, recover his craft remotely to get back up into the air, and it looks like he will. He's pretty side down, and now pretty side up. Not good.
Bull FPV currently in first as he goes through that race day quad corkscrew, and Drobot hot on his heels. They're like stereoscopic, and I think Drobot's got the pass. Drobot's in first. Bull FPV on his heels, 7/100ths of a second going through that start-finish gate. Night Fury now on a lap number 2 as well, and Hyper is still down.
Yeah, Night Fury keeping them in their sights as we have a battle here at the front here for Drobot and Bull. Night Fury now down. He had about a 3.8-second deficit. Now has really got to make up some ground. He gets a little lost trying to get back on course as we get ready to wave a white flag. One more to go for the Drobot and Bull FPV show, 1.8 seconds apart. Drobot low side of the first tower and ready to do some diving here momentarily. Now, Bull FPV knows that he is good, trying to play it safe. Sean Taylor, Night Fury is back up in the air, so we need to finish this race for a guarantee because you got Night Fury coming in hot. It'll be Drobot Racer with the win of this one, and Bull FPV to pull up the number 2 spot. To move on in our winner's bracket, 1 to finish. It'll be Night Fury to slide across into the number 3 spot, and Hyper we lost on the opening lap in 4th. And we're just going to consult. Make sure that everything's good with our officials behind the scenes before results are official. Hey, Doug. I don't know if it's on your end or my end. It might be on my end. No, but I don't know. Oh, maybe that's why my bracket might need to be refreshed. My bracket didn't update. I'm wired, but my bracket didn't update. Like, why is my bracket not updating? Oh, what the hell's going on here? No? No, but I can't see my bracket. My bracket should be updating.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and roll into heat number 2 as we do have a DVR review on that first heat. So results unofficial at this point. Coming up here in heat number 2, we're going to have Captain Vanover, Amari, Dolma FPV, and Johnny Fly.
Yeah, but I'm looking at it right now. It's not updated. It's not updated on my PC.
On deck right now, we have heat number 3 with BMS Thomas, Engineer Waffle, and Propsicle. Then we're going to be coming up into heat number 4. That's going to be in the hole with Heads Up FPV, Miwo FPV, and Neukel and Saber.
This is the right sheet, okay?
Right. This points to that sheet opener. I don't think that points to the source for that browser opener.
But this is the exact same thing I ran last weekend. BY. Yeah, this is the exact same one. A1.
Scroll down.
And refresh.
Refresh the button, Jack.
Yeah, but that looks like shit when it does that. But I didn't have to do it for the whole last one, dude. Why is it not updating?
For all those of you watching on the live stream, we do have Hydra betting up right now, so don't forget to download the app, go in there, and make your picks. This is a fun way to get in and join in on the action while you're sitting at home watching YouTube or wherever in the comment section. Might be able to see your name up there on that
This
leaderboard.
one's not on the internet. Oh, because you shut me off.
I didn't.
Got a nice picture there on the live stream. It's going to be Nurk and Mrs. Vanover, if I'm not mistaken. We're rooting for you.
Password on the race ops.
Nice little heart there. We're going to get pilots goggles down, thumbs up here as we prepare to roll them. Pilots, we got a green to go. Go ahead and arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. Off to the races we go. Here's Amari actually getting the whole shot, followed by Captain Vanover, Johnny Fly, then Doma FPV. Little bit of a mishap by Amari. It's going to push him back a hair. Currently following Captain Vanover. He's already through that bow tie section, working on the race day quad, triple corkscrew. That's 3 down. He's 2 gates to go. Now on to lap number 2 with a 22-3 opening lap. Here comes Doma in second, Johnny Fly in third. That's Johnny Fly 3 seconds behind your leader, and Amari 2.6 seconds back from 3. Johnny Fly now crashing out. That's going to be good news for Amari as he's getting a little closer to the pack. Still looks like we've got Captain Vanover in first, coming around to lap number 3 right now. That was a 22.8 for him, picking up the speed a little bit. Amari in second, 9 seconds back from first place finisher, and Doma 4.6 seconds back from that transfer position. Doma having some issues on the line, having to disarm and rearm. There's Captain Vanover. He is first, and it's going to be Amari as he works through this triple corkscrew section. 2 gates to go, and Amari is second. Captain Vanover and Amari going to be moving up in the winner's bracket, while Doma FPV and Johnny Fly are going to see us back here again in the Constellation.
So no channel changes. Captain Vanover and Amari going to heat number 6. Doma FPV and Johnny Fly going to heat number 5. And on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see what we've done. We've run 2 races, and we've already built races 6 and races 5. As we put Drobot Racer and Bull FPV, Captain Vanover and Amari up in the winner's bracket. And we slide down Doma and Johnny Fly with Night Fury and Hyper in the Constellation bracket in race number 5. About to grid up race number 3. And of course, all night long, we are gaming on the Hydra FPV app. You can download it right now and join in on the fun. You can go from 0 to hero on the Hydra FPV app. You find it in the Apple iTunes Store or the Google Play Store. Search for Hydra FPV. Just look right above my head there, Hydra FPV. Create a profile, it takes about 30 seconds, and find our race, which is the Race Day Quads 2019 MultiGP Drone Racing Championship presented by DRL. Find us, and you select the finish order. You game how many points that you want to put on the line, and our winner getting a bunch of prizes at the end. And right now, Netizen01 did a solid one there on the front. Out front with, looks like just 20 points difference, making all the difference there for Netizen01. A gain on the last 2. Now, you got to remember, we saw a top 3 finish from a guy who joined us in the last 3 races of the Constellation Top 16. So download that one, the Hydra FPV app. And if you already have it, get set to make your picks on this next one. BMS Thomas, Engineer, Waffle, and Propsicle are coming up. Put your selections in. Propsicle was 13th overall this weekend in qualifying. Waffle 12th, Engineer 5th, and BMS Thomas 4th overall in qualifying. Met him in the introduction, the 2-time MultiGP World Cup champion. Also, the first ever MultiGP Spec Class champion. You can change off that scene. There's a shot of him right there on your live stream, brought to you by GetFPV.com, along with ORQA goggles. We talk about all the drama and the storylines of this event. You imagine the saga, the pilots going to those global qualifiers trying to make the cut. And, of course, we've been following the saga, those ORQA goggles, and launching the Kickstarter, and then thought it'd be shipping at a certain time, and then they just kept going back, tweaking, getting it right. And I've heard it's worth the wait. It was worth the wait, as they're on pre-order right now, those ORQA goggles at getfpv.com. All the pilots putting them on, saying, living up to every expectation. Like to hear it. We're in that preliminary round. If you watched our consolation top 16, you saw the format. Double elimination. Top 2 move up, bottom 2 move down. You could be 3rd or 4th just once, or you get eliminated. When we get to the end, we race them repeatedly with our final 4 until someone wins twice. Unless there's an Ironman rule engaged. We'll talk about that when we get closer. There's a shot of Engineer, 5th overall in qualifying. A student right now at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University here in Daytona Beach. He's from the Northeast region. So he is accustomed to this 51 degrees Fahrenheit, and I want to say about 8 degrees Celsius weather right now. Let's go green. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5.
Clean start for everyone there. Engineer, the first one through the gate. BMS Thomas, second. Propsicle, third. And Waffle, fourth.
But Engineer already dropping to the number 3 spot.
Propsicle having a little bit of issues there. Going to have to try and turn him get back up. He's back up, but going to be coming in from the back of the pack.
Now it's BMS Thomas and Engineer, 1 and 2 over to the corkscrew. BMS Thomas just ahead of Engineer. 1 lap down. BMS Thomas, 0.4 of a second ahead of Engineer. Let's bring Waffle across in 3rd. 2.6 seconds back from the transfer position. Propsicle about 3.9 seconds back from him. 1 lap down. It's BMS Thomas and Engineer. And BMS Thomas stuck in a gate. Going to try and turtle mode his craft out of the gate. And it looks like he was successful in getting it unlodged. Trying to grind it out. You see he's cutting the AstroTurf, and he is back up, so don't count out BMS Thomas. We just lost Waffle. Waffle going to try and recover his craft remotely. So now Engineer with a bunch of breathing room. I want to say at least 8 seconds to the good. We'll see what happens here on this final lap. It's Engineer, Propsicle, BMS Thomas. Everyone's spaced out. Engineer with the win here in heat number 3. Then Propsicle pulling up the number 2 spot. We finish our laps, and BMS Thomas going to pull up the number 3 spot. Waffle pulling up 4th. We do have to consult with our officials. Make sure that the course is good. Hearing like no discussions from back in judges land, so results are going to be good. Engineer and Propsicle moving up in our winners bracket to heat number 8, no channel changes. BMS Thomas and Waffle going on in our consolation brackets to heat number 7, no channel changes, Once again, pilots, we want to remind you to remain silent and respectful of our other pilots in their space. We had to offer a rerun last night from a celebration, someone bumping a pilot that was flying, giving a fist pump to one pilot for breaking the top 5 in qualifying, but giving a hip bump to another pilot who ended up, you want to hear that storyline? If you're involved in that, that pilot that got bumped last night got 81st. What? 1 position out. 1 position out. The guy who got hip bumped from a celebration, he did get a rerun, but wasn't successful on it. Whether or not the one where he got hip bumped on was his best one, but he finished up 1 spot out. They're talking in the chat here about Night Fury. We're going to see him here in a couple heats. He's actually on deck. We're at heat number 4. Heads up FPV, Miwo, Noikol, and Saber. On deck will be Night Fury, Hyper, Dolma, and Johnny Fly. And the whole Drobot Bull Captain Vanover, and Amari. Fat Bastard cheering on Heart of America here tonight. So we get ready for heat number 4. I think HOA is waiting in the wings. A shot of all of our great partners. Of course, our title sponsor, Race Day Quads, racedayquads.com. Huge selection. Or anything FPV racing, FPV freestyle, even drones, including some of the best gear in the business, on-site delivery. Thank you, Tyler and Buddy from racedayquads.com with the parts support here for the pilots to keep them racing. There's one of their many gates here at the championship. Taking a little beating here this weekend.
That's for sure.
Of course, our presenting partner, Drone Racing League, DRL. The official sim of MultiGP, the DRL Sim on Steam. You can actually, while you're waiting between heats this evening, you can fly this track on the DRL Sim on Steam. It is the official track. I know there's many sims in the industry and many of those courses. A lot of people have their preferences, so many of those people looking at other options. And every one of those other tracks, a clone of the real track. The official track here is this one right here, the one that we're flying here at track 1 and track 2. It is measured to the millimeter, and all those gates and flags placed using GPS coordinates based on the export of the DRL Sim on Steam. The rest of them are all based on guesstimates of YouTube videos and flying other sims. So don't support the clones, support those that support drone racing.
That's right.
And try it out. Do your own comparison. The DRL Sim on Steam, it's beautiful. It's a real deal. Here we go. Before we go green, this one's going to go green in 35 seconds. There's something very important here in race number 4. It starts the journey of Heads Up FPV, our reigning champion in our TQ. If he wins this race, Ironman mode is engaged. Heads Up FPV, you got to remember, won the World Cup in 2018 at International Open. He won it with the Iron mode engaged. He won every one of his bracket heats as the TQ. So when it gets to the Chase the Ace, he could do it in 1. Champs last year, he did not have the Ironman at Champs last year, did he? Did not, to the best of my knowledge. But tonight, he's going for the Ironman. Miwo, Neukel, and Saber. Destiny is in your hands. Let's turn off the Ironman mode. Let's make this one interesting. Pilots, stand by. In the flight line, keep it chill. Keep it chill in the flight line. Thumbs up if everyone's ready. Arm your quads. Live on the tone, less than 5.
Everyone through that start finish. It's going to be Heads Up FPV with a whole shot. Saber in second, Neukel, then Miwo.
So remember, Heads Up FPV was posting 18-second lap times in qualifying, and only he and Vanover were able to break the 18s to the best of my knowledge. Saw a bunch of 19s and 20s. He has owned this course, and after lap number 1, he's got it with a 20.5 opening lap. Then Miwo 3 seconds back in the number 2 spots. Miwo no longer me slow. Neukel in the number 3 spot, 6.4 seconds back from the transfer position. And that ringer dinger was Heads Up FPV. A little bit of a mistake, but already back on his way. Not sure if it's going to be enough here on lap 2. As white flag flies, he goes on to lap number 3. And all eyes on Miwo coming out of that corkscrew section with Neukel hot on his heels here to try and chase down the TQ and take away that Ironman. But Heads Up FPV is a little too dialed in right now. It's a corkscrew, a TBS gate, and a checkered and inverted.
Ooh. Showing off. Looks like Neukel crashed out there on lap number 3, so this one's a sure bet for Miwo. Gonna try and do a little DVR review in the raw here, maybe show that
Everybody down, and we await word from our officials behind the scenes. But to the best of my knowledge, Heads Up FPV now just clicked on Ironman mode engaged. Heads Up FPV and Me Woe moving up in our winners bracket, which will give third and fourth to Saber to go into our consolation bracket. We're going to see Heads Up and Me Woe in heat number 8, Neukel and Saber in heat number 7. No channel changes, no channel changes. Scully DVR. Top right-hand corner on your screen. You know what? It's going to be a little gnarly, but let's go full screen. We're not wearing ORQA goggles yet. Now, remember last week in sport class when we had Matty Lights just rocking those brackets, and remember how he finished his races?
It was always something new.
He would go in reverse. He would do a 180 and go backwards through the start-finish gate every single heat when he knew he had the win.
Yep.
I want you to watch what Heads Up FPV does here through this gate. He goes inverted through the start-finish gate. I'm going to play it back one more time here in real time.
And you just killed it your first.
And
how do you feel?
inverted
Well, it's
through that
just the
start-finish
first
gate.
step of the process. I got a
So
long
both
ways to go in this
Evan
bracket.
and
so I'm just gonna
Matty
keep trying to
White
do what I'm
from,
planning on doing.
taking
So
first place last
just
week.
gonna
They're
keep
from the
ramping
same,
up the speed, you know,
hometown,
keeping up with these
right?
great pilots, and
So
then
last
finals will
weekend,
come, and
Matty Light
when it
took
happens, it
first.
happens. So I'll just keep going from here and
Lots
doing
of
what I do.
comments around if
Awesome. Good luck,
we're gonna
Evan.
take a
All right,
clean
guys,
sweep of
back
the
to
title
racing.
this year. Going to the line right now in heat number 5, we've got Night Fury, Hyper, Dolma FPV, and Johnny Fly. On deck, we've got Drobot Racer, Bull FPV, Captain Vanover, and Amari. In the hole, it's BMS Thomas, Waffle, Neukel, and Saber.
We had a nice little interview there with Heads Up FPV, Kalara Manade from MultiGP News, doing a live interview. We didn't get to hear it in-house, but that would just be distracting, but all those in the live stream got to hear it. So, of course, let's take a look at the Hydra leaderboard. Look at that. Everybody on the Hydra leaderboard, at least in the top 8, gaining a bunch of those Hydra points. They pretty much called that one in the order of Heads Up, Miwo, Neukel, and Saber. That's how they were seated in that bracket. 1st, 8th, 9th, and 16th. So a lot of gains. And Iron Mode engaged for Heads Up FPV. I mean, I'm not cheering on anyone. Kind of making some calls. I can't do that. But at the same time, I really wanted to see multiple rounds of Chase the Ace. And, well, also good to see the opportunity for another 2-time MultiGP champion. Hyper FPV, we're looking for you to get to the line. This is heat number 5, Night Fury, Hyper, Dolma, Johnny Fly on deck, Drobot Racer, Bull FPV, Captain Vanover, and Amari in the hole, BMS Thomas, Waffle, Neukel, and Saber. Another one of our great partners is iFlight. We visited with them last week, and I think they just sent their team in for the sport class weekend, and pretty much a smart move to do if you're the marketing director, I think. If you can only do one weekend as a marketing director for a company, I think the first weekend was the weekend to go. That was the sport class weekend. That was qualifiers 201 to 300 at the start of the invitation process, and then we dropped down to, I think, in about the number 501, 502 position to comprise that field, 79 pilots. But all those pilots last weekend, I would say the vast majority of them unsponsored, and a great opportunity for iFlight, who is one of the breakout brands here 2019, OEM parts and a lot of their own gear as well in the FPV space, to meet some new faces and some enthusiastic spaces. And I'm sure a few of those sport class pilots picked up a sponsorship or two, and a lot of people checking out the iFlight stuff, and we can't thank them enough for their support of champs.
Yeah, speaking of iFlight, I know they've got a lot of motor products, some of those Zing motors, lots of pretty colors and things like that. Also coming out with several frames, so.
Yeah, buddy, gridding up heat number 5. This is in the consolation bracket. Hey, can you bring up the bracket, NDI? Heat 5 on the left-hand side of your screen. Dale flies. Nope, is that the wrong one? I hit the wrong button, didn't I? There we go. We're Night Fury, Hyper, Dolma, Johnny Fly. That was my first mistake of the day. Very first mistake of the day. Night Fury, Hyper, Dolma, and Johnny Fly. We're in the consolation bracket. Some call it the losers bracket, but you can redeem yourself. We've seen champions come out of the consolation bracket. We have a 2-minute timer right now for Hyper FPV, looking for a quad behind the scenes, trying to get a quad out to the line. This is a consolation bracket race, so third or fourth or a DNS did not start. And that is where the journey would come to the end, finishing in the number 16 spot overall. Don't want to see that here for Hyper by any means, but the 2-minute timer is rolling for him. The first ever collegiate drone racing champion came out of the consolation bracket. It was actually Envy Astro, and if you look at the graphic, he was in about race 6, dropped into race 9, and went race 9, 12, 13, into 14 to win the first ever collegiate championship up in Purdue. We're going to the 4th collegiate championship next April 2020. It's going to be back in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Very excited. We're going to see a couple of pilots we've seen over the course of these 2 weekends. Of course, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University with 2 teams. Prescott, Arizona, and Daytona Beach, Florida, represented at that. They are team champions. A couple individual champions we saw last weekend. Flying J, a collegiate champ. And Engineer competing this weekend is the reigning collegiate champion from 2019. But it can happen. In fact, the first time we ever did this format was at the 2016 MultiGP Champs in Muncie, Indiana. Jordan Temkin was the reserve champion here. Then he went on to win his first DRL World Championship. He lost in the first preliminary round, I think probably about race 3, and went his way from race 3 into race like 7 to 10 to 12 to 13 to 14. Now, there is a slight advantage going to that consolation bracket early, and that advantage is you get one more pack over everyone if you count those brackets, but it's not easy to be in that consolation bracket, is it?
No, sure not. I know last weekend in Sportsman, Bike Guy, your TQ, went out into the consolation bracket first round, ended up coming back, taking 3rd overall, so definitely possible to come back. You just got to fight your way up.
Talking about some of those big events, talking about the 2016 championship where Sean Taylor won his 2nd MultiGP championship. And the collegiate championship, I want to say hello to David French watching up in Canada. That's Thunder. And he was on a secondary live stream somewhere, said, I'm missing some great sledding up in Canada. We have sledding or snowmobiling weather here in Daytona Beach, Florida. 51 degrees currently. But look what I got. I'm dressed to the party. Brand new gloves.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Florida, but the weather here, even though it's like, 50-something, it feels way colder. Back home in Kentucky, I mean, I think it's like 20 degrees right now, but it feels like it should be snowing.
I want to thank, as always, one of my great friends, one of my favorite partners in MultiGP, and that's Jason from Drone Nation. If you don't know what Drone Nation is, it's another app that you need to download right now as well from the Google Play Store or the Apple iTunes Store. Drone Nation is like a social media app just for drone pilots, not just racing pilots or freestyle pilots or quadcopter pilots. It's anything that flies with a radio. That's the community. And there, if you go to Facebook and you're connected in all these Facebook groups, you go through all these groups that you just have to scroll through cat videos and advertisements for things on Indiegogo and stuff like that to try and get to the good stuff. You just want to see drone stuff. Well, Drone Nation, it's all over there. You want to communicate with other drone pilots and comment on videos, pictures, get some feedback as well. You do that right in the Drone Nation app. It does all the filtering for you right there. Also, and it's come up a couple of times here these past 2 weeks, I was at the marketplace in my hotel during the break in Orlando, and they read my the guy, the barista, read my MultiGP golf shirt, and he says, oh, you do drone racing? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm trying to get into that, and I'm trying to find a place to fly. I got a Mavic. Well, I'm like, yeah, you got a bit of a ways to go with your Mavic, but he's like, I live in Orlando. There's nowhere to fly around here. I'm like, well, sure. You need to download the Drone Nation app. Download that Drone Nation app and find the flying sites around you. People go around tagging those places. You can see pictures and videos from those places on the Drone Nation app. Does all the work for you. Of course, I had pilots flying in, sending me messages. Where do I fly around Daytona Beach? It's right beside an international airport.
Yeah.
You know what I said to them? Download the Drone Nation app. It's absolutely free. You can connect with others in the community, and you can find those flying places. And you know, in Facebook, remember the beginning of Facebook, you saw someone, you gave them a poke?
Yeah, something about giving people props, right?
Yeah, that's in Drone Nation, you give people props. When you become a friend on Drone Nation, you're not a friend, you're a co-pilot.
Oh.
Give your co-pilots props on Drone Nation, find those flying places, and connect with the community. It's all across the USA, Canada, and Jason just told me a few moments ago, launching next month in Australia.
Exciting stuff.
Love Drone Nation. When I talked about my friend, I mean, he is one of my best friends. He brings me warm coffee, donuts as well. And he came up, he says, do you need anything before we started tonight? I'm like, dude. He's like, I'm going to Target. I'm like, I have the most random request for you. I'm a little worried because I have all these computers and mice to touch. I need gloves where I have the fingers free. If you can find it, don't go out of your way. Well, he found them at Target.
Sure
Always.
Those are those gloves that turns into mittens.
That's right. Perfect for this. Perfect for this night. Thank you to Jason, the entire team at Drone Nation. You know, coming up in 2020, you're going to be able to find your your closest MultiGP chapter, MultiGP races in the Drone Nation app.
A little bit of a storyline coming in here into heat number 5. We had that 2-minute clock for Hyper to go find a quad. Turns out Captain Vanover is lining up one of his backup quads for Hyper. So that just goes to show, you know, this drone racing community, we don't want anybody to be out because they can't fly. Different build, different radio, different tune. Everything's going to be different here. So it's going to be all eyes on Hyper to see how he can handle this. We had a similar situation last week. Forget who the pilot's name was, but he ended up flying different transmitter, different quad, I mean, rates, cameraing, all that. And so definitely good to see all the fellowship here and camaraderie as team pilots or co-pilots here, as you will, from Drone Nation.
Well,
Give
you
each
know
other
what? I don't
quads.
remember who it was either, but you can actually go back and review that because all the racing from last week on a Sport Class Championship weekend.
Rice. Was it Jay Rice?
Might have been Jay Rice. Might have been. I mean, dude, it's
Don't quote me
been
on
a
that.
long
Yeah,
16 days
it
for
sure
me.
has.
But that I believe that entire live stream that had happened in the last couple of races of the Sport Class Championship was it's on our YouTube page. You can actually see it in the archive, the MultiGP YouTube page. You can also see it on the livefpv.com Facebook page or scroll through all the races. We've cut it all down to just the racing at mgp.livefpv.com for track number 1, and that's where that happened in the championship brackets last night. Or, of course, worldcup.livefpv.com. You want to see some of the track 2 racing as part of the journey. NDI.
Looks like we're green to go live, Joe.
Picking up where we left off. Race number 5. Top 2 remain in the running for a DRL 2020 contract and their share of $10,000. Bottom 2 are done. Going to Disney a little early. Maybe you'll be able to catch in the fireworks tonight. Good luck, pilots. Arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5.
Also, the races they go. Remember, Hyper here not flying a quad that's not his, so all eyes on him up there in the left corner.
Dude, it's that Captain Vanover quad. It's going to naturally start doing Vanny rolls, I'm sure, but he's actually doing better than we saw Orbit and Jet do last night when they won the 2 guys 1 quad competition. Now he's found a gear. He's getting dialed in, so World Quad doesn't matter. Hyper in the number 4 spot, but he is now coming in hot for the rest of the field as they cross over to lap number 2. It's Night Fury, then Johnny Fly, 1 and 2, 0.3 of a second apart. Dolma, 0.9 of a second behind him, and Hyper will be on his way here in a moment. There he goes, onto that lead lap.
Looks like he was 14 seconds behind from first.
It's still Night Fury and Johnny Fly, 1 and 2. 1 lap to go. Night Fury on to lap 3. Johnny Fly, 1.2 seconds back. And now here on this last one, Dolma has 5.2 seconds to find Johnny Fly to stay alive here in the brackets of the championship here tonight. Hyper FPV now crashing out Vanover's quad. He's going to send it again. He's back up. We're at the corkscrew. Checkered flag is waving. Night Fury stays alive, as does Johnny Fly. Dolma almost got them, finishing up 4.1 seconds back from the transfer position. So now we look to those that made it far. So Dolma FPV qualifying 9th overall, finishing 2019 in the number 15 spot overall. And Hyper FPV qualifying 22nd overall, climbs up the ranks and finishes in the number 16 spot. And that is where it comes to a lock. We will see Night Fury and Johnny Fly when they come back in heat number 9. No channel changes. No channel changes. The biggest question of many people's minds right now, what about the Hydra leaderboard? Is it right? Let me know what's up. As we fight the data. Yeah. There's a lot of people gaming. There's a shot of Hyper. There's a shot at Jet, the 2-time DRL champion with us. And now let's take a look at that Hydra leaderboard. New leader, Intent to be Human. He's got all intent. Up in the number 1 spot, a gain of 2,000 Hydra points after race number 5 in that consolation bracket. Looks like a lot of shuffle up on that leaderboard, but we welcome into the top 8 on the Hydra leaderboard, Ribbit FPV with a total of 1,221. You know, we're talking about Disney. A lot of people hoping for good weather because Sunday was our rain day / go-kart day, and there's no go-kart tracks around here, so I know a lot of people are going to try and slide into Disney or Orlando Studios if they haven't had a chance to do that. And I'm celebrating being in Disney World. I mean, this is all Disney World around here. With my Disney hat. Now, this is the closest I could get for the opportunity, and that was my Racecraft hat. Now, Racecraft, I don't think they've put out any new hats, but the shot went off me. If I can come back here, just 1 second. Just for 1 second. The Racecraft logo. You can still get Racecraft props. They have some in stock at getfpv.com, and I believe Race Day Quads have a few Racecraft props in stock. But the Racecraft logo is a Disney hand. That's Mickey's hand right there with his finger getting pulled off courtesy of a prop strike right there. So that's the only Disney I could get. I couldn't find any of the Mickey Mouse ears, but I got a Mickey Mouse hand with the fingertip getting cut off. And many people who know me also know that that's just like my thumb. 2 years ago, I cut the tip off of my thumb. So shout out to our good friends at Racecraft. You can get Racecraft props still in stock at getfpv.com, along with our friends at Race Day Quads as well. And that's my Disney hat. That was my Disney hat. Shout out to Timmy. That's Timmytron watching across the pond in Australia. Good buddy of ours. There's Lennon FPV having a fun time. There's Nub FPV. He calls it the Nub hat. Nub FPV. Everyone knows Nub. Yeah. He's also one of those DRL pilots getting an invite 2 seasons ago, right? Say hello to Sean FPV watching from New York. And now we get set for heat number 6. Heat number 8 is where we're at. Knee down. Or heat number 6 is where we're at. I'm jumping ahead of ourselves. This is Drobot Racer, Bull FPV, Captain Vanover, and Amari. This is a winner's bracket situation. Top 2 In this one, advance to race number 11. Oh, I hit the wrong one. My bad. I've done that twice in a row here. There we go.
Second mistake of the night, Joe.
Well, I did the same mistake. I repeated. I keep showing the consolation
that's
top
worse.
16. We're at race number 6. You know what? We're going to fix this up in post. It's going to be the best broadcast
perfect
in the history of drone racing. We're at Heat 6. Drobot Racer, Bull FPV, Captain, Vanover, and Amari. Top 2 in this one. Go to race 11, the winner's bracket. Bottom 2, this is tough news. If you're 3rd or 4th in this race, you go into the consolation bracket versus Night Fury and Johnny Fly.
Ooh.
That is a bracket. That is a race that I never want to go into. And race number 9, if you remember back to Sebring, that was where all the TV pilots there was blood all over the field in race 9. Race 9, the consolation bracket, is one of the best ones to watch. You don't want to be in that one. You want to be 1st or 2nd. You want to go to Heat 11. Let's go green. This is Heat number 6. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. Stand by, stand by, stand by. Lane 5, Amari, charged with a false start. So, false start rule. Should we
Recap.
go over real quick? The 2019 rule. The 2019 rule, the rule that was in play up to this point. Amari false started, which means if he false starts again, then he will be DQ'd this round. 2019 rule. If anyone else in this heat false starts, they would be DQ'd.
So it's not just this round. That carries through, right?
And the other pilots doesn't carry through. It'd just be this round. Okay. Amari will carry through all the brackets, but everyone else in this round, 2019 rule, if anyone else false starts on this one, they get DQ'd as well. However, the Tier 1 chapter meeting not too long ago, we changed that rule for 2020 because the other pilots didn't make a mistake. Just Amari did. So why are they penalized? They should have a false start warning as well. So the 2020 rule, the MultiGP rules going in play, that just Amari has a false start warning. Everyone else still kind of has one in the tank, not that they want to use one. Earlier today, before we even started the brackets, I think it was the consolation top 16, we made a quick call after a false start was charged to a pilot, and we said, you know what? The 2020 rule is way better than the 2019 rule.
Way better.
So we enacted the 2020 rule. So only Amari charged with a false start. So we're going to regrid him up here on the podiums and get set to go green. It's a little weird to see me 2 times here, but if you want to look deep into my eyes, how's everybody doing here tonight on a Saturday night?
Further there, just go all the way in.
Thanks to our good friends at GetFPV.com and ORQA Goggles bringing us our live stream. We're broadcasting live on the MultiGP YouTube channel along with the LiveFPV.com Facebook page. And all the stats, heats, lap by lap, round by round times, and clips from the live stream are at mgp.livefpv.com. We're live at mgp.livefpv.com. mgp.livefpv.com. There's so much going on in my ears right now.
A lot of stuff.
Let's keep it chill in the flight line. Race 6, winner's bracket situation. Let's go green. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5.
That's a clean start off the starting blocks. There's Captain Vanover with a host shot. Amari in second. Bull FPV in third. And Drobot Racer pulling at fourth. Going to be watching on board here with Captain Vanover as he's in the back of the course through that DRL dive get onto the bow tie section. Pulling around, stitching it up. Just lost No, looks like that was Amari is out on lap 1. He's somehow back in and lost all video. Back up in the air, so he's going to be trying to come back from behind. Captain Vanover's on to lap number 2, and Bull FPV just crossing over 5 seconds behind. There's Drobot Racer in third, 3.3 seconds back from that transfer position. Watching Captain Vanover as he moves through that the race day quad corkscrew. He's on a lap number 3 and looking for, looks like a battle here between Bull FPV and Drobot Racer. Drobot Racer now pulling up second with Bull FPV.
Both of them with issues. We just lost Drobot Racer.
Ooh. Meanwhile, here's Captain Vanover. 2 hits to go, and he is pulling up first.
That's a win for Captain Vanover, staying alive in the winner's bracket. Next to cross over here, looks like it'll be Bull FPV. No guarantees yet, but he is through. Bull FPV in the number 2 spot. That is going to give Amari third and Drobot fourth. So we're going to move them up. We're going to move them up. Move them out. New do boot it. So no rumblings from our officials behind the scenes. There is a shot of our flight line. Everything's good. So we move them from race number 6. No channel changes. Captain Vanover and Bull FPV moving up in our winners bracket to Heat 11. Meanwhile, Amari and Drobot Racer going to Heat number 9. No channel changes. No channel changes. So once again, official finish on that. Captain Vanover first, Bull FPV second, Amari third, and Drobot Racer fourth. Now, the question is, I don't think many people would put Drobot Racer fourth, especially when he was like third overall in qualifying. Let's see what happened to the Hydra leaderboard. Well, Intent to be Human still reigning at the top right now. There's a gain for Schnur. We saw him last weekend at the Sport Class Championship. Netizen dropping down to third after that gain by Schnur and Intent to be Human. Lightning in the number 4 spot right now on that leaderboard. Look, a lot of gains right there, including SFPV breaking our top 8. Say hello to those watching all of our streams on YouTube, Facebook, and all of the places. Brain 3D, excited for Captain Vanover's finish right there. I saw AA was cheering on Captain Vanover before the big start. They're watching in Canada. M. Gauze, even though he's not from Canada, but he was cheering on a Canadian, making him feel a little special. Say hello to FPV Skittles tonight. That's a cool name, FPV Skittles. We also say hello to Tommy G FPV, who was cheering on Johnny Fly a few heats ago. Go Detroit Drone Racing, also probably cheering on Johnny Fly, one of our many Wolverine State pilots competing here at the Race Day Quads 2019 MultiGP Drone Racing Championships, presented by DRL. One of our other great partners of this event, and pretty much every single event that has the MultiGP name, and that is above Josh Elder's head right here, Team Black Sheep Real Serious Toys. We're great fans of TBS. One of the names that leads the game when it comes to antennas, video transmitters, now their new goggle module. A lot of people talking about that. And also some great frames as well. And they distribute many of the biggest brands in drone racing. Thanks to Trappy, thanks to Wayne, thanks to the entire team at Team Black Sheep for their long-term support of drone racing worldwide. Not just us. They sponsor anything and everything because they want to see drone racing grow great. And we can't thank them enough. This is heat number 7. This is in the consolation bracket. You got to be first or second to continue racing tonight. If not, you are 14th and 13th overall and maybe going to see some fireworks at Disney tonight. Let's not be that guy. Good luck, pilots. Arm your quads. Live on the Tone in less than 5. Go Tone, off to the races we go. And BMS Thomas with the whole shot. I'm looking at the chat and it was blowing up with all the Aussies going Aussie, 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 oi, 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 and their boy in the lead. Even though we saw another quad in frame, that is the rest of the field chasing behind him. Tough heat here with BMS Thomas dropping in that consolation bracket. But again, maybe an advantage with that extra pack as we watch him coming to the corkscrew. You're going to see about 4 seconds here separating our entire field. There's BMS Thomas with a 23 and change. Waffle 4.5 seconds back in the number 2 spot. Neuchel Saber right behind them.
Wow.
Clip that from the live stream for my highlight reel. Calling it as we see it, but this one's not done after one down. We got those transfer positions with a battle for the 2, 3, 4. But right now, 1 to go for BMS Thomas. That 4-second lead got a little stronger as we look at this battle between Neuchel and Waffle. It's Neuchel just ahead of Waffle, 1 to go. It's an 8-second lead for BMS Thomas. Don't count out Saber. Saber gets onto that lead lap. 4 up and 4 still racing. We just lost Neuchel, so that moves Waffle up to the number 2 spot. He was in a battle with him. Yeah, no one's going to catch BMS Thomas. He is going to move on in the consolation bracket to heat number 10. But who is going to join him?
Here he is. It's Waffle. 2 gates to go.
Waffle gets across the line. It's okay to woo right there. BMS Thomas and Waffle staying alive, going to heat number 10. That'll slide Saber into the number 3 spot. That is 13th overall. Neuchel in 4th. That is 14th overall. 14th overall. That's a huge move. Neuchel going from 34th to 14th in the world on that MultiGP global leaderboard. Saber going from 44th on the global leaderboard to the number 13 spot. And we'll see BMS Thomas and Waffle back in heat number 10. No channel changes. No channel changes. Coming up, we're going to go to Engineer, Propsicle, Heads Up FPV, and Miwo. Night Fury, Johnny Fly, Amari, and Drobot Racer on deck. Then BMS Thomas, Waffle, and mystery guest in the hole. Because that'll be 3rd and 4th in this next heat.
Propsicle on 7.
7, yeah. Another one of our long-term partners of MultiGP drone racing is the Academy of Model Aeronautics. MultiGP is proud to be the special interest group for the Academy of Model Aeronautics. Over 30,000 members, 30K members, 160 full and part-time employees, and of course, they have a gorgeous facility, their headquarters in Muncie, Indiana, which is also home to the National RC Aviation Museum. I had the privilege and a pleasure of a 3-hour tour of HQ in the museum with the former president, Bob Brown, who I know is watching tonight up in Pennsylvania. Hello, Bob. Hello, Joanne. Who's also behind the scenes. I mean, he was there at the dawn of RC flight, and here he is on the cutting edge with drone racing. Say hello to many of our great friends with the Academy of Model Aeronautics, including Randy Cameron, one of our guys. We're waiting to see what those ballots say, but maybe our new prez. Who knows?
Hopefully so, yeah.
Who knows? But thank you to the Academy of Model Aeronautics. Last year, they brought us the entire series. Here they are supporting it again. Of course, we talk about the AMA so many times. Not only as a sponsor, but also a host to the largest drone racing event in the world. Number 1 since year number 1, now 3 years strong.
Growing and growing every year, right?
The International Open, the first year we had 304 pilots. The second year, 319 pilots. And year number 3 in 2019, 327 pilots. That's pilots.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Guys with goggles and quads and radios through registration, power tested on their way at the International Open. And IO 2020 announced last week, June 25 to 29 in Muncie, Indiana. You got to be a part if you've not been a part of it yet. And of course, if you've been, you already are planning to buy those tickets. They're going on sale right before Black Friday. So maybe an extreme discount.
Yeah, usually you get the early bird special, right?
That's
maybe
right.
A Black Friday special.
It's the International Open.
Best thing about International Open is going to be the 8 tracks live at one time. So lots of racing going on in that event.
We are now at race number 8. All of our live stream viewers looking at the bracket on the big center of the screen and our flight line getting set to fly on the right. The bracket is up for a certain reason. That's because we are now in a winner's bracket situation. Top 2 move up. Bottom 2, if they're 3rd or 4th, they still have a chance on the consolation bracket. But remember, Iron Mode has been engaged. Heads Up FPV, our top qualifier, won his first race. If he wins this one again, he's going to keep carrying it into one more chance. Ironman Mode means Chase the Ace could only be 1 round. We'll see what happens. It's Engineer, Propsicle, Heads Up FPV, and Miwo. Let's get set to go green. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5.
Off to the races we go. It looks like Propsicle getting the whole shot there. Heads Up FPV in 2nd, Engineer in 3rd, and Miwo FPV pulling up 4th.
Heads Up FPV went through the dive gate a second later. It was Engineer, Miwo through it. And then Propsicle has gotten up a little bit of cleanup. He bounced off the dive gate, now playing catch up. And here comes Heads Up.
First, yeah, as he's on his way to lap number 2. Looks like Miwo putting up 2nd right now, 2.7 seconds back. Engineer in 3rd right now. That's 3.4 seconds back from the transfer position. And we're still looking for Propsicle. 2 gets to go. Here he is. That's going to put him 13 seconds back from the first place.
Yeah, buddy. Getting ready to wave a white flag. 1 more to go for Heads Up FPV. A 20 and a 22 his first 2 laps. Remember, he had a pair of 18s and a 19 for the top qualifying time. That is the individual lap times. And could be going for a contract right now. He was last year's champ.
Here he goes.
Gonna try and keep that Iron Mode engaged, and he will do it once again right there. Heads Up FPV with another win. So your TQ has now got 2 wins here tonight.
It's going to be Miwo pulling up 2nd, Engineer in 3rd, and Propsicle in 4th.
So Iron Mode still engaged. There he is. Heads Up FPV up on your screen.
We're going to do a DVR review in the raw on this one again.
We are going to do a quick DVR review in the raw for fun, for sure, because the storyline is that finish. Remember when he won race number 4? Remember how he finished the race? He did it again right here. Through the start-finish gate, inverted. DVR review in the raw. Top right-hand side is Heads Up FPV. Here we go. Watch this. This is how we finish. I won because I was inverted. You ready?
That's right.
Through TBS and around to the race day quads, MultiGP, and DRL start-finish gates. Look at that, upside down. It's technically a knife edge. I want to say it's technically a knife edge. Now, if you are just joining us in our live stream here tonight, I want to show you something cool. And of course, there are 3 people to thank here in our, if you're enjoying this live stream. There's a few people to thank, and first off, you want to thank our live stream sponsors. They are Get FPV, along with ORQA goggles. We talked to Roy last weekend. We talked from Get FPV. We talked to Andy from Get FPV tonight. And we talked to Ivan, one of the founders of ORQA goggles as well here this evening. But the other person that you need to thank if you're enjoying this live stream is the boy in the truck behind the scenes, and that is Doug Kling. Dougie bringing us our live stream. And if you are enjoying this, this is one of his new additions right here, and that is the start-finish camera that we are showing you a DVR review in the raw for fun, because the question is, and it's not a question, was he inverted? I think he was actually technically a knife edge through our start-finish gate. Heads Up FPV, you're seeing his FPV feed on the right. You're going to see the start-finish camera on the left. And here comes Heads Up FPV, because I was inverted. Goes through. I mean, it was a, I didn't even see him go through the start-finish gate.
How you doing?
Too fast.
I'm excited for you.
Kinda?
I like watching you.
Let's see it again. You can see this is how fast he goes through. You see the other quads flying on the course. But when it comes to Heads Up FPV to come through our start-finish gate, it is almost too fast. Almost too fast for the start-finish camera to go through to capture it. I'm like so determined to play this back right now. Here it comes. Here it comes. All right. He should be in. There he is. He is that dot. I think.
No.
Nope, he's not that dot. That was another
sure?
quad. Come on. Here.
He was inverted and oh,
Dude, the camera
invisible.
didn't even pick it up.
inverted and invisible.
Well, so fast, he was invisible.
NDI, if you could.
Picking things up here, race number 9. I talked about it not too long ago. Every time we run this bracket, I always talk about race number 9, the consolation bracket. It's some of the best racing you'll ever see. Always in race number 9. 2 of these pilots could be in our final 4. It's possible. But as you look to those numbers, you got Night Fury, Johnny Fly, Amari, and Drobot Racer getting set to battle. Top 2 stay alive. We'll come back in heat number 12. Bottom 2 are done, finishing in the number 12 and 11 spot overall. Don't be that guy. Good luck, pilots. Arm your quads. Live on the tone, less than 5.
Off to the races we go. A little mid-air action between Amari. Not sure who the other pilot was, but Night Fury's going to get the whole shot, followed by Johnny Fly, Drobot Racer, then Amari through. Looks like we're watching Night Fury move on to that back half of the course. It just got past as they went into the DRL dive yet. He's got a good view of 2 quads right in front of him through that bow tie section. Coming into the triple corkscrew.
It's Amari and Johnny Fly ahead of Sean Taylor now. I think Sean Taylor just got passed by Drobot and dropped into 4th. So Amari, Johnny Fly, and Drobot onto lap number 2, but don't count out Night Fury. He gets onto that lead lap as well. 2 to go for our entire field here just as the clock warms up to run.
Currently watching your leader here, Amari, as he's already into that race day quads, triple corkscrew, making his way around to this last lap here. Drobot Racer 1.6 seconds behind, and Johnny Fly 1/10 of a second behind the transfer position. It's going to be a battle here on this last lap between Drobot and Johnny Fly. Johnny Fly got a yaw spin of death way into the sky over top of our stadium. Meanwhile, here comes Amari working through that triple corkscrew. 2 gates to go, and we've got our first place. That's going to be Amari. And Drobot Racer pulling up second here.
Amari and Drobot will stay alive as we wave that checkered flag one last time for Johnny Fly, finishing up in the number 11 spot overall. That is a gain of 1 position for Johnny Fly.
Lots of cheering for Johnny Fly.
Meanwhile, Night Fury finishing in the number 12 spot overall. So Johnny Fly qualifying to champs in the number 12 spot in pro class, finishes up in the number 11 spot. So pretty good showing for him, working his way through his brackets. And the 2-time multi-GP champion, first ever to do it, Night Fury, finishing up in the number 12 spot in the world. Qualifying top 10 to get to the show. So we will move up Amari and Drobot Racer to race number 12. No channel changes. That was heat number 9. We get set for heat number 10.
How's the leaderboard? No? Good? Is it good? Is it bad? We're going to need the NDI in a second.
There's my buddy Fellstar. Says, man, what a rub. Yeah, that was a little bit of rubbing and racing and contact, but didn't matter. Now, we do have a whole shot rule here tonight. While we have a second here for all of our viewers in our live stream, let's turn it over to Kalara with Johnny Fly and Night Fury. On Kalara, to your right.
All right,
We'll fix that up in
everyone, we
post.
have Johnny Fly and Sean Taylor here right now. We got Johnny Fly at 9th and Sean Taylor at 10th. They are the OGs in the finals. We're really proud of you guys. How do you feel?
I feel fantastic. You know, I just wanted to come out here and have fun. I love being out here with guys like Sean. I love seeing him out here. I couldn't be happier. I'm thrilled.
And what do you guys think about the competition?
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I think everybody out here knows the competition is just, they're a bunch of aliens, and we're just over here just trying to figure out which gate to go through and keep up. But it's so much fun.
And what would you guys tell, the older pilots, 30 and over, that want to continue and love this sport so much? What would you suggest?
So I think part of being an old guy is that you have additional life responsibilities. You got to keep that in mind. So the thing you got to focus on is making use of every single free minute you have and using it well. So if you go out to practice, plan exactly what you want to accomplish in practice. Make the best use of your time as you can because you don't have as much as the young guys. So just do everything you can, focus, and you'll get better.
Awesome. Any last words, Sean Taylor?
I love you, MultiGP. It's been awesome.
All right, thank you guys. Back to racing.
Yeah, Fencer talking about it. Yeah, midair and then they win. Yeah. Praise like in the interview. We're two great pilots, two great ambassadors of our sport right there. Night Fury and Johnny Fly finishing 12th and 11th overall. The MultiGP championship. Even M. Gaz saying congrats, guys. But say hello to everybody watching online on YouTube. We've been watching the chat. It's on the right-hand side. We also say hello to everyone watching at mgp.livefpv.com. If you're looking for us on YouTube, it's on the MultiGP YouTube channel. If you're looking for us on Facebook, it is on the livefpv.com Facebook page. I say hello to Ches, Ninja FPV, Nerds Scully. Nerds Scully. Say hello to V-Ball. He was with us last weekend at the Sport Class Championship. We're at race number 10. Consolation bracket. Top two in this race advance to race 12 versus Amari and Droban Racer.
This is going to be a tough
For
one.
the last 3 years, I've been talking about heat number 9, where all the stacked pilots you didn't expect to see in the consolation bracket made up. I think destiny is changing here in 2019. Look at this field in heat 10. BMS Thomas, Waffle, Engineer, and Propsicle. This is the super jam-packed stack heat. 2 of them will advance. Let's go green. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5.
Off to the races we go. Propsicle's going to get the whole shot, followed by BMS Thomas, Engineer, then Waffle. Going to go on board here with BMS Thomas as he's already to that back half of the course, into the second DRL dive gate, now into the bow tie section. Looking through that race day quads, triple corkscrew, 2 gates to go, and he's on lap number 2. Looks like Propsicle and Engineer hot on his heels, literally less than 1/10 of a second, or 1 second behind all top 3 pilots. Waffle pulling up there about 5 seconds behind the pack.
Bobble there by Propsicle, going to hand it over to Engineer. Waffle still in the hunt here. 2 laps in the books, coming around to take their white flag.
BMS Thomas on to lap number 3. This is going to be a checkered flag. As soon as he goes through, it's done. Engineer on lap number 3 as well. 1.2 seconds behind first. And Waffle got a little bit of room to come with 7 seconds back from that transfer position. Waffle spinning.
When's he gonna
now he's
stop?
down. BMS Thomas crossed that finish line. He's going to pull it first. There's Engineer in second.
BMS Thomas, Engineer coming in the 1 and 2. Waffle down on the backside. Propsicle down on the backside as well. That moves BMS Thomas and Engineer through the program. Waffle and Propsicle. Not so lucky. That was race number 10. Coming up next is race 11, Captain Vanover, Bull FPV, Heads Up FPV, and Mr. Wow himself, Miwo FPV.
We'll be taking your top 2 finishers there, BMS Thomas and Engineer. We're going to see them back here in race number 12.
Coming up next, race number 11 as our winner side of the bracket continues. More racing action continues from the Race Day Quads MultiGP Championship Finals. We're in our top 16, willing our way through the program. I think positions 16 through 12th have been decided, if I'm not mistaken. Everybody else still with a chip and a chance. Don't forget to get down on that Hydra app if you want to champion yourself through the ranks. Hydra in the app stores is what you're looking for.
That's right. Yeah, I'm on Hydra right now. Not sure where I'm sitting. Haven't done picks too well.
Ooh. You're playing? I think that you have some inside information. You're sitting next to the Hydra app guy. I don't know if this. I don't think this is right.
Yeah, I did take second in the consolation top 16, but honestly, I don't think this helps with any insider information. Everybody's seeing the same thing we are on the live stream here. So,
I thought you guys did all that in post. This is all recorded yesterday, and you guys edited it, and they're playing it live right now?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's not true.
No. Last.
Working our way into the next heat, we got some video signals coming through. Pilots moving slowly into the box. This is nice. You don't have to stand up. You can sit down, and people just tell you what to do. But our number 1 seed and our number 2 seed going head-to-head in this one with Bull FPV and me. While Captain Vanover, our number 2 seed, heads up. Ironman mode still engaged, looking to continue that now and carry on with his upside-down, backwards, and sideways finishes.
Yeah, he's still going through right now with that Ironman engaged. So if he takes first again, once we move into the Chase the Ace,
Final
he can
four.
win it one time around.
We got a couple more pilots moving things around, a couple copter swaps happening.
So we got Charlie over here joining me, running a couple of races. You want to tell me a little bit about Hobbywing?
Oh, I'd love to tell you about Hobbywing.
Like that?
I love MultiGP because Hobbywing has been able to get on board with a lot of the events, International Open. We've gone away from a display booth, and we make a pit tent. So all our pilots have some space to hang out. All the fans can come over and meet them, hang out.
Yeah.
Jordan's been here since the sports division, helping out all the racers. I got to work on a racer's copter yesterday.
Nice.
They weren't very good at soldering.
Did it work whenever you were done?
He told me it was his best flying copter he had.
That's nice, yeah.
So we've been able to help guys out with emergency spares in case they needed something that couldn't get here in time, they broke something, whatever.
Yeah.
So it has been absolutely great for Hobbywing and MultiGP to get together and do these events. We're trying to get to all of the championships, IO, of course, and a handful of other ones. So we're having a great time this week, I tell you what.
Good deal, yeah. I know Hobbywing's always been a good sponsor with MultiGP. Seen them in every IO I've been to, and you know, always here with the championships and things like that. So we appreciate the partnership.
We have a lot of racing customers, so it's extremely important to show up at races and help these guys out. One of the big things you can do for folks in an event is just talk to them about their run.
Yeah.
Calm them through some nerves a little bit. High fives, good job. Let them know that somebody's been, you know, cheering them on type of deal, and I love that stuff. I got a lot of racing customer friends as well, so I get to cheer for just about everybody, and I think it's great. But I think they're about ready.
Yeah, don't forget to go into Hydra app and make your picks. About to go green here as we grid up Captain Vanover, Bull FPV, Heads Up FPV, and Miwo FPV. This one's going to be a stunner here as we've got the top 2 qualifiers.
So Vanover has a chance, Bull FPV has a chance, Miwo has a chance to disengage Ironman mode. If they can shut down Heads Up FPV's run right now, it'll make it a lot harder for him come Chase the Ace time. Oh, okay.
Yep.
This is the time where they can put a stop to Ironman because if he wins this one, it goes Ironman mode into Chase the Ace. Top 2 in this one, moving to the final 4. Paul Adkins doing the final check, making sure there's no verbal objections for video. Captain Vanover on the 8 seat, Bull FPV on the 1, heads up on the 5, Miwo on the 6 seat.
We just got that green to go, so pilots, go ahead and arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5.
And they are out like a shot. 4 hungry copters across the line. First one there going to be Captain Vanover, followed by Heads Up Miwo and Bull FPV.
Looks like Heads Up working his way into that back session, into that second DRL dive gate, already into the bow tie. Not on board with Vanover, but I'm sure he's somewhere close.
Heads Up exiting the corkscrew, coming through to complete lap number 1 right now. 19.5 to open things up.
Whoa.
Vanover just off his back door, 20.9, 22 flat for Miwo and Bull FPV with a 24.5.
Yeah, we were looking at the, those top fast laps. Heads Up and Vanover were putting in 18 seconds. We haven't seen any of those yet tonight, but they're starting to pick up the pace as they race against each other. There's Heads Up going on to the final lap with another 19, and Vanover 2.4 seconds back. Miwo, meanwhile, 2.4 seconds back from Vanover in that transfer position. And Bull got a little bit of ground to make up. He's about 7 seconds back overall.
Heads Up looking smooth and easy as he enters the RDQ corkscrew. Around the left-hander, Ironman mode engaged.
There it is. That's Heads Up FPV taking first. Captain Vanover second. Miwo FPV in third. And Bull FPV still coming around to finish up his last lap through that bow tie section. There's the race day quad gates into the race day quad corkscrew. We got 1, 2, and 3. 3 gates to go. And Bull FPV is done. That's going to bring him in fourth. And they will go into the consolation bracket to try and work their way back up.
With the Evan Turner signature Heads Up finish, because his head is down as he crosses the line. So I like that. I like that a lot.
Yep, going to take our winners here, Heads Up and Captain Vanover, into the final, chase the ace race. And Miwo and Bull FPV going to be coming back here. They get a one race break. They'll be back and seeing us here in race number 13. No channel changes.
So even with the inverted finish, did a 21-2 on the last lap. That's not too shabby.
That's insane. Yeah, I think his camaraderie over in where's he looking at? Tennessee, right? Knoxville. So Matty Hill took first last weekend in the Sportsman Championship. He was getting a little bit fancier going through that finish gate. So first he started out with a roll, then he did a flip.
He didn't have a DRL contract on the line, so maybe.
Did you see the last race when he won? He did a Rubik's Cube through the gate, sent it way high into the sky and down into the stadium.
Good times.
Yeah, demolished that quad.
We got up next, race number 12, Amari, Drobot Racer, BMS Thomas, and Engine Air making their way to the grids, getting ready to determine I want to say it'll be 5th and 6th spots. Or, no, that's not right. It'll be 7th and 8th spots, or 10th and 9th, something. And then the winners will be advancing to race it out in our final consolation round, I think.
I think so.
I think so.
I don't have the bracket in front of me. Skull usually
I'm
does all
pretty
that
sure that's how it
magic,
works. I've been paying attention. Joe
Yeah.
explains it, and he's got that sweet picture that I've been staring
does,
at
yeah.
on and off, so I'm pretty sure that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that. That's Tony Niddle. He's who we want to be when we grow up, a DRL announcer. Look at that guy over there.
Look at that. Wearing
That's a sexy
is that
man.
A whale? Ooh.
And the Orca's there. Orca's on site. And if you guys didn't know, the DRL guys are shooting some footage. They brought their DRL camera crew out. Some of the best cameramen in drone racing, because following flashing lights around a stadium is no easy task. Tony's showing us the winner jersey that's on the line tonight. Winner of the division can earn a spot into the DRL. And we are back with our next round of bracket losers. Top 2 stay in the program. Bottom 2 earn their finishing positions.
Don't forget about the Hydra betting app. We're going to be moving into heat number 12 here, so betting is open. Make sure you get those picks in prior to us going live, or else you're going to be locked out. Also, if you are betting, you do get penalized if you don't place a bet. So I think you lose 100 points or something like that.
So, because I'm kind of like all over the place, I can't play because I always forget to place my bets and I get -0 points.
Yeah.
Team BMS in their pre-race preparations. Lots on the line here. These guys still have to race one more time after this to earn their way into the finals. Top 2 work into our final consolation bracket side to work into the final 4. Bottom 2 earn their finishing positions. I think I said that 5 times. Because I said it again because I know I'm right now. At least I think I am.
Yep, so we've got Amari, Drobot Racer, BMS Thomas, and Engineer going to the line right now. And Miwo FPV and Bull FPV are going to be up in next heat. And then the bottom 3 and 4 of this race are going to join them to go back-to-back for determining the next 2 into Chase the Ace format.
And then the final 4.
That's right, with Ironman mode engaged.
That just means possibly a little bit less work for Mr. Turner.
That's true.
If he wins the first of the finals, he's going to be our new 2019 MultiGP champ and the newest member of the Drone Racing League.
That's right. We saw them holding the shirt up, that blue shirt, ready to give it to the winner of the 2019 champs here.
You guys know this. I'm in RC cars, and I've always wanted to see RC cars on TV. So when DRL started a thing and we could go to the bar and watch RC on TV, we lost it. We went all the time. It was great. And people would like gather around our TV and ask us questions about what's this, and it was very cool. Yeah. So I thank the DRL for making me very cool when I go to the airport and people ask me what I do for work. I say I work with drone stuff. They're like, oh, are you on TV? No, but I know some of those guys.
Yeah, I know some of those guys, yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty, looks like they are checking through the program right now. Amari Drobot, BMS Thomas, and Engine Air ready to take to the sky. Our Hydra leaderboard is up, and you see Ribbit FPV top of the board with 43,251 points.
Yeah.
Intent to be human in the 2 spot.
There's Schnurr. He was down here last weekend with the sportsman class, so good to see him participating here during the pro weekend.
Nitzino, 4th, SFPV 5th.
All right, guys, we got the green to go. We're going to go ahead and get these pilots in the air. Pilots, arm those quads as we go live on the tone in less than 5.
Out like a shot, the roar of props in the sky.
Whoa.
Whole shot going to go to BMS Thomas, Amari Engineer, Drobot Racer in pursuit.
Whoa. Did you see that chase footage on Engineer?
Engineer almost gave him the beep beep coming through. Looked like he backed it down to give him some race space. Caught the gate, though. Goes for the wild ride before the corkscrew.
Yep.
He's going to get himself back up and stay in this
your
one.
Leader, BMS Thomas.
Oh, no. Bobble for BMS Thomas? No.
No. That must have been Drobot.
BMS Thomas. Drobot in the 1 and 2 right now. That was Amari with the bobble there. BMS Thomas, Drobot Racer, 21-2 to a 26-4 that last time by. Lap 1 in the books.
There's Engineer coming across, moving on to that second lap. He is currently 12 seconds back from that transfer position. Meanwhile, BMS Thomas almost lapping him, moving on to that last lap.
BMS Thomas on a mission right now, working his way to the dive gate, coming to the bow tie.
Yep, there's BMS Thomas.
Into the RDQ corkscrew one more time. Brings it around the gentle left and across the stripe with the win.
There's your first pilot going to be going on, and here is Drobot Racer.
BMS Thomas, Drobot Racer moving up to race number 13 to get one more race under their belt to try to get into the final 4.
And we say goodbye to Engineer and Amari.
Engineer and Amari going to be, I think it's 7th and 8th, if I'm not mistaken, because we got 6 left in the field.
Yeah.
That's some math.
Yeah.
BMS Thomas, Drobot Racer moving on up.
Not hearing any chatter from our judges behind the scenes, so it looks like this race is good.
Looks like it was clean around.
We're going to be taking BMS Thomas and Drobot Racer. They're going to run back-to-back here, joining Miwo and Bull FPV.
No, they're some weird stuff. So up next, lucky race number 13 from our consolation side of the bracket. These guys have all got one loss under their belt. The next loss takes them out of the program. Miwo FPV, Bull FPV, BMS Thomas, and Drobot Racer about to get underway.
Yeah, this is going to be exciting as we go back-to-back here with BMS Thomas and Drobot Racer versus Miwo and Bull FPV. And the top two in that one going versus Heads Up FPV and Captain Vanover. So Bull FPV was 4th last year with a chance to break the top 3 and maybe even win this. DRL Contract, that is part of the story. But I think the biggest part of the story is my buddy Nelson. Not because he's one of the biggest guys here in the stadium. You look like a football player. Welcome to a football stadium.
Yeah.
But this is Nelson Aquino from the DRL Sim on Steam team. The official Sim, a MultiGP. Nelson, a longtime supporter of MultiGP, a former chapter organizer, part of our team way back in the day. But most importantly, the designer of the Sport Class Championship track and this championship course. The guy that I'm talking to right now, designed by this guy right here. Got a few rounds of applause. This has been a little bit of a technical course.
Just one.
So how many generations did you go through submitting it to Hefte, me, and Chris Thomas with this course? A whole bunch. I mean, probably about 8 reiterations. Then a couple.
That's the ones I showed you guys.
That's right.
Yeah.
But what was the design difference between Sport Class and Pro?
Well, I mean, when it comes to Pro, we wanted to make sure that there was what you like to use is fast and flowy.
Fast and
That's
flowy.
your design concept. Fast and flowy, fast and flowy. But there were some constraints that we had with the field and having the practice track on the other side. So we had to kind of tighten things up a little bit. But pretty much we wanted elements where people were going to get challenged. There was not going to be a lot of room for mistakes. In Sport Class, I would think that was the case. But in Pro Class, we want to bring out the best in every single pilot. So not a lot of room for error.
You know, I'm a huge fan of both of these courses, and one of the things that I always have difficulty with, when we're out on a field and someone does a yaw spin, I'm like, I don't know where they are. All gates look the same, but here, what I really like is the elements are in different sections. And I can tell you that, of course, there's always those keyboard pilots all having all kinds of fun online.
Yeah.
But you know what? Even the naysayers have in our pilot group, which isn't public, which is okay. We're not naming people or calling people out or anything
I
like
was
that.
going to do that.
The pilot groups, even people are saying, wow, actually, you know, it flies really nice. It's fun. But I got to tell you, that Sport Class track last weekend, I mean, every one of the Sport Class pilots loved the track, loved the event, and that's a testament to the event because since day number 1, designing those tracks in Miami, right?
Yeah.
You want to make sure that people finish races, and that's a big part of the track design.
Of course.
Now, question I have, because I remember way back in the day, and I don't know what it is, maybe we're on different time zones now or something like that, but I remember when you and I used to do a screen share, you used to fly the sim with the course design. I'm like, yeah, maybe to the left or the right. And you used to beat the living snot out of that space bar. How many space bars or keyboards have you gone through?
I've gone through a couple. It's been an evolution now.
Obviously, you know, since the very beginning, MultiGP getting a start in Florida, just about an hour from here in Palm Bay, Florida, in March of 2015.
Yeah.
Look how far we've come, Nelson Aquino.
I know.
What do you think of the 2019 champs?
It's
presented
amazing.
by DRL.
It's amazing. This is the 5th year. I mean, 5 years ago, who would have said we would have been here?
And one last question, and this isn't a DRL question. I mean, we cannot thank DRL enough. This is your buddy Scully, Cool and Scully question.
We go way back.
Let's go back to the Reno Championships. The night before brackets, you and I in a hotel room, a laptop, and a DVR.
Sounds dirty.
DVR reviews.
Yeah.
until we both fell asleep.
You
Do you remember
passed
that?
out. Yeah, it was great.
We passed out doing DVR reviews to the point that you passed out first. I'm not throwing you under the bus.
I passed out first.
You passed out first, and I nodded off, and I woke up. I thought I missed something, and I looked over at you. I'm like, did he make it? You didn't even open your eyes. Like, yeah, he good. How about this new system? We have lead girl Michelle Brooks here doing the DVRs
She's awesome.
as the brackets move on.
She's awesome. That saves us a bunch of time, and it's amazing. So give her a round of applause. She's the hero.
Yeah, that's right. I know the answer. Everyone in house knows the answer, but this is one of the biggest streams that we've had on the MultiGP YouTube channel. It's also one of the most gamed events on the Hydra FPV app, so there's a lot of new people watching.
That's awesome.
We talk about the official sim of MultiGP. It's a DRL Sim on Steam. It's $19.99. It's amazing. We can talk about the tutorials. They teach you how to fly. If you don't know, you just plug in a radio, you walk through it. The guy looks like beast mode, not beast mode, but he'll teach you how to fly in the sim. The tutorials are amazing. Then you race the official tracks, but someone's like, I got some skills. I've been watching this drone racing.
Yeah.
How do they fly this track in the DRL Sim?
Well, I mean, one of the first things that I told everyone, it's not just the DRL Sim. We wanted to make the track available to everyone. So the way that you would go in there in any sim, because the tracks are kind of out, they get out to all the sims, and that's fine. We want to get everyone to be able to fly the tracks as much as possible before the event, so they get familiar with the tracks. So that way you have better racing. I mean, this track's the same example of that too. We wanted to be able to say to pilots, listen, even though it's the official DRL Sim, we'll release a track, we'll show the video, get familiar with it, make changes to it if you need to do that. So as far as getting on the DRL Sim and doing it, just jump on. We have a Facebook group. We'll walk you through it. We'll release videos of it. We're going to have a tutorial section coming up on specific elements for racing in general.
Perfect. It's an exciting time. Looks like another course repair over there, but thank you, Nelson Aquino. 2 amazing tracks over 2 weeks. Thank you, DRL, the official sim of MultiGP drone racing. Fly the authentic tracks down to the inch, GPS coordinates, all that jazz. And of course, tonight, handing out that DRL contract. Someone going to be on NBC and Twitter next year in 2020.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about the innovation and all things great in drone racing. Brand new technology coming our way for FPV racing, freestyle, and more. While we have a second here, gritting up heat number 13 with Miwo, Bull FPV, BMS Thomas, and Drobot Racer. Let's take a look at all the new hype. DJI bringing you FPV racing.
Welcome back, everybody. 2019 MultiGP Championships. I'm sorry, I'll say the name right. It's the Race Day Quads 2019 MultiGP Drone Racing Championship presented by the DRL.
That's it.
There we go. I like it. I like it a lot.
Pretty short name, but hey, all good.
If it wasn't written above my head, I wouldn't be able to say that. That's for sure. And don't forget the rest of our sponsors. You see that beautiful array of names back there. Give them a shout out, send them a Facebook message, say thanks for making MultiGP Champs possible. It makes them write the checks again next year.
All right, pilots.
Top two in this one going to go to the Final Four. It's coming down to the wire for me, Whoa FPV, Bull FPV, BMS Thomas, and Drobot Racer.
We've got the go-ahead from our flight line director, Paul Atkins, here. So, pilots, go ahead and arm those quads. We're going to go live on the tone here in less than 5.
And they are off aggressive start as 4 copters take to the sky. First one across the line, BMS Thomas, Bull FPV, Miwo, and Drobot.
Bull FPV
bobble on the
a little
back.
bit of a midair action. Trying to find who our leader here is. Looks like Drobot moving into that bow tie section. He's going to be your leader. Bull FPV close behind. Actually, we've got people at Measlo.
BMS Thomas in the lead right now as he works to the slaloms. Drobot and Miwo in a battle. Drobot in your upper right, Miwo in your lower right. They are in the DRL gates together, now in the Black Sheep gates together. Into the DRL dive, into the DRL tower they go. Here comes a race day quads corkscrew. Drobot chasing Miwo right now.
BMS Thomas onto that lead lap. There's Miwo close behind, 2.2 seconds back, and Drobot 0.6 of a second behind that transfer position. Bull FPV, a little bit of work to do. He's about 10 seconds back before he can get there. So
Miwo is ripping the center section, barely clipped a gate in there. Caught another one, it was right back into the air.
Yep. There's your
goes for the wild ride.
End up being BMS Thomas and Drobot Racer. Miwo's down, so Bull FPV is going to pull up third.
I think Miwo was our last chance to have someone of drinking age in the finals.
We're going to give it a few and see if any of our judges back here have any.
We're going to wait for the reviews, but it looked clean for BMS Thomas.
So
Drobot and Miwo were nose to tail for those 2 laps. They weren't really changing position much. Miwo he caught a gate that kind of threw his timing off, didn't wreck him, and then it was 2 corners after that. He was in the RDQ corkscrew section getting ready, and you saw the grass and the rolling around and the real close view of the gates. That's never what you want. Oh, so report from the flight line is that maybe that was a midair situation. Well, I didn't get to see it for sure because it was going so fast, but his spotters came over and let us know that it looked like there was a midair. Michelle's going to see if we can see if there was a midair. So we haven't had any objections from our judges, so I believe results look to be most likely official. And our final 4 for Chase the Ace, Heads Up FPV, Captain Vanover, BMS Thomas, and Drobot Racer.
Getting set for that final 4. Drobot Racer, BMS Thomas, Captain Vanover, and Heads Up FPV. It is going to be an exciting night in our final 4 here tonight as we get ready to roll green. Holy guy. With me is our title sponsor of the Race Day Quads 2019 MultiGP Championship presented by DRL, Mr. Tyler Brennan. What an exciting event. You got to be so proud to be a part of this, and we can't thank you enough for all your support.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been absolutely humbling to be able to be in a position where we can come in and support MultiGP, who has supported the whole community. It's really been awesome.
You know, your racing days, Race Day Quads, obviously one of the names that leads the game, but your personal racing days, they've been a little bit behind us. Last big run, 2016. Racing has really come a long way in the last 3 years, hasn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I think I was, 4th in 2016, and if I came into this field with that same speed, I would be probably, I don't know, 60th. So it's come a really long way.
And this event, this year, it's 2 big weekends. We had the sport class weekend last weekend, which was qualifiers 200 to 300. This weekend, the pro class, which is a top 200 out of 1,100 pilots, really the greatest pilots in the world. 5 different countries represented here this weekend, 3 more, I think, last weekend. A total of 8 different countries over the course of the 2 weekends represented. Super fast pilots, all divisions. This community keeps growing, and the racing gets faster, and it's really awesome to see how far the sport has grown. And what about this community? There's just a great group of pilots here, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this event and MultiGP in general really, to me, represents the FPV community. There's no question that FPV would not be what it is today without the contributions of MultiGP, and as a result, I mean, that's why it makes such a great fit for RDQ to come in and do our part in helping support MultiGP and in turn support the community. So it's really been awesome.
And lots of great part support as well over the course of last weekend, the Sport Class Championships, and this weekend champs. We had 79 pilots last weekend. They did 23 packs between practice and qualifying before the eliminations. Here this weekend, 120 pilots that flew a total of 19 packs before the eliminations. So math, not always my strong point, but that is 1.7 million packs flown. I just made that number up. But a lot of packs flown and a lot of part support. You've been supporting these pilots, putting those last-minute orders in. What were people mostly replacing, putting in those orders on your cart at racedayquads.com?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of props, of course, and then a lot of stacks. Usually when guys are ripping like they are here, they're not breaking just one part. They are destroying the entire quad. So it's been a real pleasure and I'm glad that we're here to kind of be like the saving grace for a lot of pilots who didn't expect to burn through as many quads as they may have. I mean, that's just what we're all about at RDQ, supporting the pilot, supporting the community. So in that way, the parts service that we ran this week really it made sense.
Race Day Quads supporting this championship event, which is now turning into race night under the bright lights here at Daytona Stadium. Final 4 is starting to power up, and heads up FPV, top qualifier. We just watched him in his earlier heat. I think it was race 11 with Captain Vanover. They were first and second in qualifying. They were first and second last year at champs. They're first and second in their last race. And I don't know what the finish was, but on to lap 3, Heads Up FPV had a 2.6-second lead over Captain Vanover. You heard Josh Elder, who's been killing it on the commentary, along with Charlie Swanka from Hobby Wing, called that action. Heads Up FPV with a 2.6-second lead, pounding 18-second lap times. If you are Captain Vanover, BMS Thomas, or Drillbot Racer, how do you beat Heads Up FPV? Because as we do Chase the Ace, you got to win twice, but with Iron Mode engaged, if Heads Up FPV wins this race, it's game over. Think back to those 2016 race days. How do you beat Heads Up FPV in a situation like this?
Pressure. Because this whole way he's won his way through, he hasn't really been contested. As soon as he, let's say he gets maybe one gate a little messed up, now he's got 2-3 guys in front of him, and it's all about maybe putting him in a position that he hasn't been thus far through the race. So if I'm those guys, I'm waiting for Evan to possibly make a mistake, as rare as it is, and then putting pressure on him and seeing what I can make of it. But there's no question that everyone here is going to push as hard as they possibly can for that one DRL spot in the 2019 championship.
Well, fortunately, I mean, the PA system isn't quite prevalent or prominent in the flight line. I also hear a lot of bullhorn action, but if it were me, what I would be doing is I would be pushing that quick start. I mean, if you get in front of them, you see it often. I mean, we saw it here tonight. A lot of pilots not used to seeing someone in front of them unless it's lap traffic. If it's lap traffic, it's a bug on a windshield, right? Drone racing days, that's why so many midair happens. But when you're racing with someone, seeing someone in front of you, you see it distracting. You see a lot of people hitting the bottom of the gates. Remember, the official sim, a MultiGP, is a DRL sim on Steam. If you fly these gates, there's bottoms to some of those towers. Not in other sims, the clones as we call them, but in the official sim on the official track, there's bottoms there. And we saw people going, oh, I'm getting past, slamming into the bottom of the gate. So you want to get in front of him. And you, like you said, put the pressure on or just stay hot on his heels, and that could happen, right?
Yep, absolutely. And when you're chasing someone, it's much harder to hit those persistent lines. And if the guy in front of you is really turning out hot laps, you need to be hitting perfect lines. It's very, very difficult to do that in the chase position. So I agree with you.
We say hello to those watching in Australia. I know Timmytron's there. There's Tilted cheering on BMS Thomas, a two-time MultiGP World Cup champion. We got Drobot Racer. He just come off of like 2 massive wins on the West Coast, rolling into champs. Coming in hot, like 3rd in qualifying. He's got a huge chance, and if he wins, we're going to rerun these Final 4 again. So good luck to Drobot Racer. All kinds of kudos coming in from Australia for BMS Thomas. Then you got Captain Vanover, the pilot from Texas. 2 years ago, our champ. Last year's reserve champ, 2nd over in qualifying, 2nd the last time that he and Heads Up FPV flew, which was to get into this Final 4. Good luck to Vanover. If he has a chance for his 2nd ever championship with MultiGP, he has to win this one, then the next one. Iron mode engaged. When Heads Up FPV won the World Cup, he had iron mode engaged. He went into the Final 4 and won that first round. That picture was on the Facebook community page for MultiGP. It was an amazing Ironman shot. I can describe it like none other picture. The goggles down and just the raw, I am Iron Man. That is how he celebrated that Ironman win. We got a little bit of a channel change. BMS Thomas going to go to race band 7, so a little drama here with the switch up in the channels, but it is all good. We will adapt.
There's no question it does not get better than this. I mean, you have absolutely 4 of the biggest names and the best pilots in the entire world about to duke it out, each one with their own accolades and their own wins under their belt. And no doubt that every single one of these pilots wants this championship more than anything. So it's going to be absolutely awesome.
$10,000 in prize money thanks to our title sponsor, Race Day Quads, and our supporting sponsors. And $4,000 goes to the winner of this race. Then it goes down to like $3,000 for 2nd, $2,000 for 3rd, $1,000 for 4th. We're paying out the top 8 $10,000. That's pretty good. It covers the airfare and actually like 7 weeks at the Woodspring Suites because they have a great deal, and we love a great deal in MultiGP. But the other big thing that is on the line right now is the DRL 2020 contract. Now think back to last year. Heads Up FPV won last year, but the DRL had a rule. You had to be 18 years of age or older to get the DRL contract. Heads Up FPV won last year, was not of age, so it got passed to 2nd. So Vanover technically got Heads Up FPV's spot. There's Canoodle sliding in the jersey that's going to go to the winner of this tonight. If Heads Up wins this right now, DRL has dropped the age clause. 16 years of age. If you can drive, you can fly on TV with DRL. 16 years of age. You need that back. You got it. If Heads Up wins, we're going to be popping champagne. Heads Up FPV is the ace to chase. Will Heads Up FPV be the 2nd ever 2-time MultiGP champion? Will Vanover be the 2nd ever MultiGP champion? Or will BMS Thomas, Drobot Racer, be in the history books as well? This next race could decide. Your ace is Heads Up FPV. Good luck, pilots. Arm your quads. Live on the tone, less than 5. Fantastic start. They're all through the RDQ, MGP, DRL start, finish gate. All eyes on race band number 5, Heads Up FPV. And I just saw a little flicker. He's dropped to 2nd. And into the corkscrew we go. Vanover's ahead of Heads Up FPV. Heads Up FPV is down. Vanover, no, Heads Up FPV is back up. But Vanover, your leader after 1. Drobot Racer in the number 2 spot. This just opened up a little bit, but don't count out Heads Up FPV. We've seen champions come from 0 to hero, and Heads Up FPV wants this done in 1. He's already past his bedtime. We're on lap number 2. Here comes your leader. Vanover on to lap 3. He's got a 19 and 18, and heads up FPV is Sloppy Sally here on lap number 2. Drobot Racer still in that number 2 spot. The heads up FPV in 3rd. He's 9.8 seconds back. It's going to take an 11-second lap time from this one. So Vanover and Drobot Racer changing the story of Saturday night.
Wow.
Vanover with the win, a Chasey Ace round number 1.
Let's rerun it, boys.
Yeah. Vanover makes us run it over. The Hydra FPV app may crash after that one. Don't count out the Texan. He was ready to do Vanny rolls all over Daytona, and Vanover wins Chasey Ace round number 1. Remember Drobot Racer? He pulls up 2nd, heads up FPV defending with 3rd, and now BMS Thomas in 4th.
So remind me, Scully here, if Heads Up wins the next race, is it then over, or does he now have to win too?
Remember how I slid up and whispered in Charlie's ear, Ironman mode engaged?
Yes.
Well, if the TQ doesn't win heat number 1, Iron mode disengaged. So it's Chasey Ace, and there is the leaderboard up on the screen.
So if Captain Vanover wins this next race, it's all over. Anybody else wins it, we're racing again.
If Captain Vanover wins this next race, Captain Vanover is the 2nd ever 2-time MultiGP champion. Now think about this. Holy guy, you cannot script it. If Vanover wins, remember, he's already on DRL. Let's say Drobot Racer is 2nd, it would go to him. Allegedly, he's not 16. Ooh. Which means it could go to Heads Up FPV, or it could go to BMS Thomas. NDI, can you leave that up so I can talk about There's a look. Captain Vanover with the win. Now that the Iron mode is disengaged, we load him up another round. Let's say Heads Up FPV wins this one. When we go to round 3, Heads Up FPV would have a win, Vanover would have a win, so then we have to push it another round. It's until someone wins twice, so everything that Heads Up FPV had until this point is literally out the window. It is gone. It is out of this park faster than race day quad shipping.
I got nothing to say about that.
You don't know what to say about that? You should say, you're right. And lastly, how many negatives am I going to see when I hit this Hydra button? I'm excited. Here comes the Hydra leaderboard.
Oh, Skittles called it.
Who is FPV Skittles?
They have a very interesting tattoo.
FPV Skittles. Did he pick all 4? FPV Skittles, put them in this order. BMS Thomas 4th, Heads Up FPV 3rd.
Wow.
Drobot Racer 2nd, Vanny with a Vanny roll to win. Holy FPV Skittles, 26,000 points. Took him from about 7th into the number 1 spot. What about Me Sprit? 100%? No. What did Me Sprit do? Me Sprit bet a lot and a multiplier on Vanover on that one. Jumps up to number 2. Can we scroll on that? I hate to direct from my chair, but let's scroll down and see how many people lost. FPV Brothers? Whoops.
Brother.
Fat Pastor? Whoops, 10 points. Bet them all on this next one.
Epstein bet the farm.
Ribbit FPV lost everything.
Ranger Cowboy went from one of the richest to absolutely nothing.
Hyper FPV started. That was the first bet for Hyper Bet It All. lost it all. Hyper having a night. You know what? He probably borrowed the points just like he borrowed the quad earlier.
Shots fired.
Who did he bet on? He, you know, Josh just called that right here. He said, so you're telling me Hyper didn't even bet on Vanover, but he borrowed his quad. Hyper, come on, man.
Bruh.
Josh, you're not making friends tonight. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Well, this is why we love this format. Now, you remember from RC Cars, you come from an RC background. A big thing with RC Cars is a triple A main. What that means is the final group run 3 times. It's the best 2 out of 3 wins. Usually what happens, your TQ wins heat 1 and 2. They sit out the 3rd one and let everyone battle for podium. That's about as exciting as hearing Oprah talk about her diet. Telling you to buy Weight Watchers when she needs to watch the weights. You know what I mean? Snooze fest.
Hopefully Oprah's not watching.
Not a fan of the AAA mains. I'm not picking on Oprah. She used to be a huge drone racing fan. I'm saying snore fest, okay? It's like watching Ellen DeGeneres and no one is dancing. You know it's a tearjerker. Because it sits out. It's decided. Chase the Ace is like AAA mains, but it's easier to follow. As we look back to that Chase the Ace leaderboard, we know the situation. If Captain Vanover, the new ace to chase, wins this one, he's the 2019 Race Day Quads MultiGP champion, presented by DRL. Then that DRL slot is going to get shuffled around. We're going to be checking IDs. We're going to have lawyers out here. Can we get one? Get one on the speed dial. Come on, Andre. 1-800-NEED legal help. What change did you make? What change did you make? Nothing? Nothing?
But I absolutely love this format because, again, we get to see the very 4 best pilots in the entire world duke it out.
That's what it is. We just keep running them until someone wins twice. Now it's time for Heads Up FPV to redeem himself. Drobot Racer sits second. He has a huge chance to change this game and get on legal Zoom as well. BMS Thomas has a chance to win. I mean, anything can happen. The only thing we know for sure, if Vanover wins, it's done. But he has 3 gunners right behind him. Vanover, once again, the ace to chase. Round 2, about to go green. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone, less than 5. 4 wide through our RDQ MGP start-finish gate. The whole shot going to Captain Vanover, and he's pushing the charge. BMS Thomas has him in his sights, as does Heads Up FPV. Now Heads Up FPV just up into the lead, and Captain Vanover was right behind him, and he is stuck in the gate. Vanny rolls out of it, and now trying to recover. Heads Up FPV with a 19-3 to take the lead after 1. Then Drobot Racer, BMS Thomas, and here comes Captain Vanover. 8 seconds behind Heads Up FPV. That's the stat he's worried about right now. Heads Up FPV just flew into the side of the gate. Drobot Racer down. Come on. It's not the last one flying. It's 2019, not 15. Come on. On to lap 3 we go with Heads Up FPV. Again, if he wins this, we grid him up again.
BMS Thomas taking the lead.
Up into the number 2 spot, 6 seconds back from the lead. Vanover now 10 seconds away from our leader here on the final lap. So the good news is, guys, we're going to probably grid them up again. Fill up the solo cups, get warm. We're racing some more tonight. Vanover is going to come up short. Heads Up with his first win of Chase the Ace, round number 2.
Awesome, awesome, awesome recovery there from a little mishap with the gate.
You see him on the right-hand side of your screen. It's like, yeah, that's right. That's what happened. That's what happened right there. Captain Vanover going to pull up 3rd. Drobot Racer in 4th. And now Now, now comes my probably top 5 catchphrase. There's arm your quads, live on the tone, less than 5. Come on, man. Yeah, buddy. Number 5 is holy guy. NDI. Look at this. We are tied at the top, guys. Heads Up and Vanover, each with a win and a third. We are tied for second, third. BMS Thomas and Drobot Racer, each with a second and a fourth. Say it with me now. Holy guy. I see Joel working hard. Is that one updated? Huh? That is updated. FPV Skittles, did he call all 4?
And we do have a DVR review, it sounds like, on Heads Up FPV.
Ooh.
DVR reviews underway.
Results not official. Results not official. Wow.
So what we're looking at here is essentially when Evan had a little bobble. Just making sure that he did actually go through that gate. And that was absolutely amazing how he did have a bobble and then fought back from third back to first against some of the world's absolute fastest racers.
I'm trying to find it on mine. Our replay officials are judging it. Everyone trying to find this gate. And as you said, Heads Up FPV flying into a gate, and they don't know if he returned through it. I'm watching the DVR reviews. We believe it's on the second lap, on the back section. You're going to hear some behind the scenes because they're talking to the replay judge. I'm trying to scrub to it here on the live stream for everybody. So it's on this lap. This gate's on the back. That one's good. Is the bow tie section? All right. You may have said, ooh. Let's watch it in real time. Bow tie section. I went back too far. Ooh.
So I think based on the fact that he rolled after the gate, right? I mean, if he hit the bar dead on, he would have stopped, right?
Well,
it doesn't seem like he was deflected to the left. It seems like he went through the fabric and rolled through. But I do wear glasses, so...
Well, that's to help you see better. All right. It's this one here.
This is pretty similar to what we saw in the consolation bracket with one of the guys coming through the start-finish gate, and we couldn't quite tell. All we saw was that he hit fabric. But then after watching a second camera, we saw that the fabric actually gave way and he did go through the gate.
Let's watch it in real time. Let's watch it in real time. He's on the right-hand side.
One thing's for sure, he did not second guess himself. Definitely continued to race. I think he went through. So let's take one look here at after what do we see in the immediate frame after he goes through the gate? We see a cone on the other side. To me, that means he kind of bounced through the middle. If he was going slower, it would be easier. Yep. And if you look on the side that he is on when he's going through the gate doesn't have any cones. The side on the opposite side has cones.
After further review, on the 30th yard line, it is good. The win goes to Heads Up FPV.
So, let's run it again.
Let's. There we go. Results again. Vanover and Heads Up FPV tied with a win each. So as we get set to grid them up here for Chase the Ace round 3. If Heads Up FPV wins this, he is our second two-time MultiGP champion and reigning MultiGP champion. And you're going to see a lot more of them in 2020 on NBC and Twitter with DRL. If Vanover wins this next one, he becomes your second ever MultiGP two-time champion. You're going to see him next year on DRL. And finish points are going to decide who is going to get the jersey. If BMS Thomas or Drobot Racer win this next one, we go to Chase the Ace round 4. Thankfully, our hosts here at Daytona Stadium have given the keys to the VIP, and those lights are not on a timer, so we can keep running them if we need to.
We don't know who will win yet, but what we do know is you could not script it any better. This is absolutely awesome.
You know, I got to stretch my legs, buddy. It has been a fantastic weekend. This may or may not be the next race. You're going to see me probably for either podium. You're going to see me for podium presentations, or you're going to see me in Chase the Ace round 4. Either way, I will be back. I turn things over here to Josh Elder, Flex PV, who's been killing it. Tracks 1, track 2. For the race call, along with Tyler Brennan from Race Day Quads, may or may not be the last race. Here we are.
Welcome, my friend.
Welcome, welcome. This is exciting stuff going on right here. Nobody probably thought that this was going to go more than one race in Chase the Ace, but here we are on to race number 3.
And let's not forget as well, BMS Thomas and Drobo Racer are two of the absolute best pilots in the world.
Yes. Yeah.
If Heads Up or Captain Vanover make a mistake, the two pilots they don't want to capitalize on that are BMS Thomas or Drobo Racer.
Yes, exactly. Just like you saw in the first race, right? I mean, Heads Up was in the lead, made a mistake that allowed Captain Vanover to take the win. Second race, Captain Vanover crashes. That gives a huge advantage to Heads Up. Maybe this time both of them make a mistake, right? They're all going to be pushing super hard. They want that win. They need another ace, and Heads Up can't let Captain Vanover have it. Captain Vanover can't let Heads Up have it. So this is going to be intense. We are in a tent. We're camping.
We talked earlier about pressure. There's no question that the true champion is gonna get it figured out on this race. I mean, BMS Thomas Droba Racer putting pressure on two of the absolute fastest.
Yeah, definitely. Drobot Racer, one of the younger pilots in this race here, so going to be pretty intense if he can pull that off. On our live stream here, currently looking through some of the chats, looks like we've got Lennon FPV joining us. Double A still here, been with us all night. Got Spartan FPV, Bojangles. Lots of pilots coming through here joining us for this potentially last race. Hopefully it goes another, but we're...
I love Evan. I love Alex. But at this point, I can't help but wish. Let's run it again.
That's right, yeah. Like Joe said earlier, it's never gone a full 5 races where each pilot gets an ace, and then, that 5th race, everybody's already got one, so it's just first 1 to 3 laps on that one. If it happens here, 2019 Race Day Quads Drone Racing Championship presented by DRL, that's going to be one for the record books.
And if there's a group of 4 racers where it could happen,
this is it.
This is it.
Yeah. Everyone here holding tight with all the anticipation as it builds up. We're gridding up the pilots again, getting them in their seats. It's not going to be much longer here, and we're going to see some racing. There's a shot of our pilot tents here as we've got Evan Turner putting down the goggles. Noticed a chat earlier as we were scrolling through. Somebody mentioned, looks like every one of these pilots stands up. You see a lot of pilots got to bring that chair down, but all of these pilots, they need that wiggle room just in case they get off kilter or something. Got that wide stance, so. All right, guys. Here we go. Quiet in the pits. We want to make sure all these pilots have the concentration they need. And we are green to go. Pilots, arm those quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. Off to the races we go. Let's see if they make it through that gate. Looks like we've got a clean run. Watching Heads Up in Heads Up in Vanover here. Looks like Vanover just ahead of Heads Up as they went through that DRL dive gate. Now they're neck and neck going through that race day quads.
Could not be closer.
Captain Vanover going to be just slightly ahead of 19.5 on his first lap. Heads Up FPV 1/10 of a second behind. Drobot Racer still in there. BMS Thomas still in there. Only 3 seconds separating the full pack here. The anticipation builds. Looks like Vanny had a little bit of a mishap there. That's going to give Heads Up a little bit of breathing room. Heads Up now on a lap number 3. Captain Vanover 2.7 seconds back, and as he goes through that start finish, he has a little bit of a crash, so not looking good for Vanover as he goes black. Heads Up into the bow tie section, stitching it up here into the race day quads corkscrew. That's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3. 2 gates to go, and your champion's going to be Heads Up FPV as he sends it straight into the stadium. Your new DRL pilot, Evan Turner. You can see all the emotions there coming into the pilot tent as his won. That was an insane race. Don't forget, though, we're going to look at it. BMS Thomas definitely got 3rd here, but there's still a question on whether Vanover or Drobot Racer got 3rd or 4th. Now, this is Chase the Ace. Everybody gets a kind of points as they go through, so every finish matters here. So a little DVR review as we determine 3rd and 4th positions. This one's definitely going to be Heads Up, then BMS Thomas. And as they go out to the field to celebrate and take a look at that quad that Evan smashed into the turf, he definitely spiked that down here in the football stadium. What a night of racing.
But a two-time MultiGP championship.
That's right. And the
champion now, and your newest racer on DRL.
Yeah. He's going to get that blue shirt. Probably going to have a pictures of him here and that later. But can you imagine DRL next year? Are you going to have Vanover and Heads Up racing together?
It's going to be that.
Two younger pilots?
For every episode.
Yeah. That's going to be crazy. BMS Thomas. A little bit of sideline betting going on over there. All right, guys, we're still doing a little DVR review here. Trying to determine third and fourth. Shortly after that, we're going to have some podium presentations here in front of our sponsor side behind the scoring station. Big thanks to all of our sponsors, GetFPV.com, Race Day Quads, DRL, ORQA, Hydra, AMA, and all of the others here, Hobby Wing. All of these.
Flight, TBS.
Yeah, exactly. Just trying to look at the live stream here. So, Tyler, how has it been helping co-commentate this race here? Pretty intense stuff. I'm sure that the YouTube chats are blowing up, all that kind of stuff. Probably still going to take a look at the Hydra app once we finish the positions here, see who landed on top. As you saw on that little commercial there, big thanks to GetFPV, one of our main sponsors here at the 2019 Race Day Quads MultiGP Drone Racing Championship presented by DRL. Still working through a little bit of DVR review on the side. We know first and second, that was Heads Up and BMS Thomas. Not sure who made it further on lap 3. Was it Captain Vanover or was it Drobot Racer? Looks like it's in. A little bit of a change here. Drobot Racer making it farther on lap 3.
All right, everyone, we have BMS Thomas here. BMS Thomas, you did so great throughout this entire series. We're so proud of you. You came all the way from Australia, and you've done so well. How do you feel?
Feeling good. Yeah, another back-to-back race amongst them all. So I didn't expect to come here, you know, sort of what the scene was going to be like. I mean, you know, I'd raced Evan just before in Korea, so I sort of knew roughly where Evan, Vanover, some of the other parts sat. But, you know, everyone put on their top form, and it was an awesome race. All the races were epic. Second race had a mid-air collision, so still able to finish, but that quad was damaged. Had to switch to a different quad for the end one, and the camera was just a little bit off. So yeah, sloppy first lap. Last 2 laps I was really happy with though, and you know, just being out here racing is so fun. So yeah, really, really happy.
We got Drobot. Hey, hey, Drobot. And so, what would you tell viewers? You know, the most challenging thing that you know about the finals. What was the most challenging thing?
I mean, it really depends how you look at it. I mean, for me, I guess I was fighting jet lag. That was my goal. But I mean, you know, jet lag aside and whatever, you know, everyone's fast, right? So you sort of, you know what you're capable of, but then it's trying to sort of get the max out of that. So I was pretty happy with my performance. So yeah, can't wait for next year.
Awesome, BMS Thomas. Thank you so, so much. Thank you.
A lot of questions coming in on that last race. A lot of questions. A lot of questions. Looking for answers. A lot of questions. We got answers coming up.
All right, we
here
have
in just a moment.
Drobot
Let's
Racer
go to Clara,
here.
who's with
Drobot
Drobot Racer.
I've been following you the entire time. I mean, through qualifiers, you really, really did. You did so much of hard work, and you made it, and you came this far. How do you feel?
I'm just so happy to be here, and the fact that I made it to finals alone, I'm so happy.
And how was the competition for you?
This, to be honest, is probably the fastest rate. Like all the best pilots are here. You're not gonna see a slow pilot. You're just all gonna be just the fastest of the fastest.
And so, will we see you next year?
I'm gonna be here next year for sure.
All right, Drobot, thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Again, a lot of questions. A lot of questions, and I'm just looking for answers. Josh Elder, just looking for an answer. Well, the answers are in, so obviously a lot of people worried about those Hydra FPV points. What was the actual finish in that last race? So after review, because we lost Captain Vanover and Drobot Racer on lap number 3, the result coming in that Captain Vanover actually crossed just past the start-finish gate as he started lap number 3. Drobot Racer was over by the dive gate. He crashed on lap number 3. So finish order in that last race, as you know, Heads Up FPV first, BMS Thomas second, Drobot Racer third, Captain Vanover fourth. So for the Hydra app, it is Heads Up FPV first, BMS Thomas second, Drobot Racer third, Captain Vanover fourth. Let's take a look and see how the Hydra points stacked up on that finish right there. So FPV Skittles is going to be the winner. He was calling them all night long.
Yeah. Ever since
right
that
there.
first Chase the Ace run, he just took the lead and kept running.
But look at Badu getting up there, almost 90,000 points.
Win, yeah. It's almost 60,000 points on that last race.
I am Spanky. He's always on the Hydra FPV app.
Say what?
82,000. I am Spanky. Yeah. And El Madero Bob finally finished top 5. He was down but not out again. There's my buddy Nub. Rotor Cowboy. I still owe him a case of Miller Lite on the finish time at International Open. I have not forgot Condor FPV doing his thing. A 7th Kid Drone top 8. And that's some of the questions answered. The last question to answer is, based on the finish points, how does everyone find out? Or how did everyone wind up?
Yeah.
Before we do that, let's go to Clara, who's with Captain Vanover.
All right, Alex Vanover, I mean, we had such a thrilling race watching you and Heads Up FPV battle it out through qualifiers and then finals. How do you feel right now?
You know, Clara, this has been a long road. I pushed harder than ever this last few weeks training for this. I knew Evan. I didn't have the respect for Evan last year that I do now. He's an amazing pilot. I had this respect going into this race. You know, I don't feel the best, but at the same time, I got one win on him, prevented him from getting that Ironman. You know, I think anyone watching will understand that. Feel great. I mean, this entire race, I had an amazing team behind me. A team like never before. I had Jet, a.k.a. Jordan Temkin, spotting me. I had Justin Skinner. It will be fun. Also there with me, I had Bob Mazza, Justin's wife. I mean, I had this whole team behind me, and I'm so blessed to have. I mean, the support's incredible, and I'll be forever grateful of it. First or last doesn't matter. The fact that there's people there who are always going to support me, that's what keeps me going.
Well, you know, now you have Evan on DRL with you. How do you feel about that?
Listen, Evan, you may in this multi-GP spot, but that DRL, you got a whole other thing coming. Now you're with the big dogs now, boy. So I'll be ready for you.
All right, thanks and congratulations. And so what's coming up next for you?
I'm heading to Singapore. I'm heading to Singapore for DRL. So you know what? We're going to go race there, have an amazing time in Singapore. And then I'm not stopping. You know, a loss is, you know, we win or we learn. And this time we learned again, you know. I'm going to keep pushing hard. I know I can go faster. I'm never going to give up. I don't care what people say. I'm here to win. I'm going to do that.
All right, guys. You guys heard it from Vanover. Thanks very much and congratulations.
Yeah. What do you say? Watch out for the big dogs.
Yeah.
Have you been watching DRL lately?
I actually haven't seen him this year. I got rid of all of the.
So easy to watch this year.
Twitter,
dude.
right?
It's on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's on NBC.
Yeah.
It's so funny. He says, "Here come the big dogs." So you look at some of those pilots on there. Not gonna name names, but talking about that age gap. If you take Vanover who's 20. Heads Up FPV, who's 16. Even that is still younger than some of the pilots on DRL.
Oh, yeah.
The big guns, the young guns are coming. As we turn things over now to Chris Thomas, who is with the newest young gun, our champion, 2 times and reigning Heads Up FPV.
That's right, guys. So I'm here with Evan Turner. We just watched probably the most amazing race ever in drone racing. How did that feel?
You know, it's to be able to come back from last year and how well I did. I'm just really, really so happy. As far as the competitiveness, every single pilot just leveled up a whole other level. 2 or 3, Drobot Racer absolutely killed it. Vanover always on my heels, beating me multiple times. And it's just, it feels so crazy. I can't even put words to it, how awesome it feels to be able to come out and compete with all these guys and for them to push me and I push them even further to just continue doing this for a while.
So, you know, a few days before this competition, I know that DRL lowered the age requirement. Do you think that had anything to do with you in this race?
You know, drone racing league's obviously a very top at the drone racing in general, and for them to be able to lower it to allow the younger pilots and more competitors to enter, I think it's really, really awesome. So I think that not only myself and there's going to be so many awesome younger pilots coming in and vamping up the show, and I'm really excited to see it next year.
Well, you know, you now join one other pilot with 2 wins. You now stand with the possibility for the 3-peat, which we've never seen. Do you think next year that you're going to have what it takes to win?
You know, I can't predict the future, but I know I'll go as hard as I can, keep doing as much as I can, but I know with the level these guys are improving, and it's going to be even harder next year. I mean, the level of racing we just experienced here was something we've never seen in drone racing before, and I think it's only going to get better from here. So, I mean, I'll give it everything I got, but I know these guys won't let me have it easy.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations, and I'll see you at the next one.
Going to Disney World!
And of course, for your champion, 2-time Heads Up FPV, we say hello to Quad Doc and the entire family watching back home in Maryville, Tennessee. Their boy did it. It was a nail biter there for a while, for sure. And also on the screen, you know, we say hello to Savannah and Rachel and Stacy watching the live stream as well. There's your dad, the CEO and founder. They've been watching all night long going, where's daddy? Where's daddy? There he was. Meanwhile, the Turner family screaming, who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy?
Knoxville, Tennessee getting a clean sweep this year at the 2019 Drone Racing Championship.
So the big thing, and I mean, there's a lot of questions, and it just seems like no one's asked. Actually, no one has asked me the questions.
They haven't, have they?
It seems to be I'm the only one who
Joe,
cares about it.
So what's the final listing here?
That is the question. That is the question. Because first, everyone was concerned about their Hydra points on the on that last race, and then realize Frank has a question. No rerun for Frank. The final rankings. Our podium decided. Remember, 4th gets $1,000, 3rd gets $1,250, 2nd gets $2,000, and we already know who won. But what about 2nd? What about 3rd? Well, we go to the boy in the truck, Dougie, to reveal the results of Chase the Ace. There is your podium on the screen. Now, Drobot Racer is 2nd, a 4th, and a 3rd. Not his night in Chase the Ace. He's going to finish up 4th. $1,000 to the good. And even though we're handing out an official contract a year from now, he could win that jersey. I'm sure he's already on that Facebook group that they are sending out. So 4th overall out of a field of over 1,100 pilots. That is solid for Drobot Racer. Now, look at BMS Thomas and Captain Vanover. Captain Vanover with a 1st, a 3rd, and a 4th. That totals 8. BMS Thomas with a 4th and a 2 and a 2. That totals 8. Chase the Ace is based on your finish points. The winner whoever wins twice. The tiebreaker is the last round. That's motocross style. If there's two motos, Moto 1, Moto 2, the tiebreaker, if there's a tie, is the last moto. So because BMS Thomas was second in the last round and Vanover was fourth, Vanover is going to be your second runner-up, third overall in 2019. It's going to get $1,250, which means your reserve champion is BMS Thomas, $2,000 to the good. And as we have seen here tonight, heads up FPV, your TQ taking a knee, which is ironic because we're on a football field. Taking a knee in Chase the Ace round 1, that gave up the iron mode engaged. That made tonight 10,000 times more interesting. To win Chase the Ace, you got to win twice, and that's what he did in rounds 2 and 3.
You might say 44,000 times more interesting.
What do I need? So final preparations here in play for our podium presentation. That is coming up here in mere moments. So someone, we're not going to say who, didn't go to the business center at their hotel. We're not going to say where. So we're printing some very important. We're printing some very important. Okay. I said nobody. I didn't point any fingers. We're awaiting some printing, and here is one of the stars from DRL on NBC and Twitter. Canoodle is with us. How are we doing tonight? And okay, we'll let you defend yourself. You didn't print it in advance.
No, I appreciate that. No, I don't want to print it in advance because then I would have ruined the entire contract trying to travel all the way over here with that. I didn't have a folder to put it in, so I thought, you know what? You guys got a printer. You're a well-organized machine over here. I'll print it from you guys. But apparently I don't know how to use a MacBook, so that's the problem.
So I'm not going to say that I'm jealous. We are known as two of the most infamous or famous commentators in drone racing. You're on television, I'm not. We're not going to do a measuring contest, but what I'm known, I'm more than a commentator. I'm also a race director, and I'm a firefighter, and I am everybody's Buddy Scully. So even though I was kind of throwing you under a bus because I said, oh, someone didn't print the contract at the business center, I'm also your Buddy Scully. Do you want me to save you right now, Canoodle?
Yeah, would you mind? I mean, I would CPR, mouth-to-mouth, something.
Guys, the reason he didn't print it off at the business center is because we have to put the name on the contract.
That was the whole reason the whole time.
Guys, it was all the plan, all the plan.
I just wanted to make sure you guys could figure that out. That was the whole thing. I just, I don't want to give it away.
Well, don't give anything away because we haven't seen the championship for this 2019 season on DRL. We still have a few more episodes, a few more races to go. But really big surprise here to open up the field here for more pilots. And what I've seen on NBC and Twitter, Vanover's killing it. You got these young guns. 2020 is going to be awesome for you guys on DRL.
Absolutely, especially with the new addition. It's going to be phenomenal. I think it's going to be some amazing, epic racing between those guys. A lot of competition. It's only going to get more and more fierce as we progress each year. It's amazing.
And DRL, known for the sim, that's what all we talk about. Every MultiGP drone race on the live stream is a sim. DRL Sim on Steam, that's where the authentic courses are designed. We talked with Nelson Aquino earlier, or Cruel. We talked to him about the course design. Every course is designed in the sim, and then we take the GPS coordinates, and that's how we put it to the inch on tracks 1 and track 2. But DRL also known for many of their great locations. Circus, which is no longer, and you guys ruined it, in Las Vegas. That place was rough. Circus, and
we didn't ruin that. Come on.
I'm just joking. You guys didn't ruin it. It was already ruined before you guys showed up. You guys were the last ones through.
Let's be real, right?
So Circus, the former Circus, now the homeless shelter in Las Vegas, and of course you had the hazmat place up in Georgia. You guys are known for so many epic locations. Daytona Beach with the MultiGP Championship. Last year in Las Vegas in the Craig Ranch Park. Does MultiGP have the coldest location? I don't think DRL has flown in cold places.
No, actually, if you recall back to the 2016 season in Detroit, the championship, it was freezing in that venue. I've never been so cold in my life. Even the heaters that we had brought in did no justice. It was really cold.
Colder than tonight?
Yes.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Wow.
But, I mean, don't get me wrong. This is still really, really cold. And I'm bundled up, and I think I have 4 layers plus gloves and a scarf, and I'm still cold. So, yeah.
And shout out to the entire team. I know you have many of your videographers here that were following here championship race day, but they're also here in practice and qualifying. They brought shorts. They had to go to Target. I'm sure Nick is going to get the bill for that one, but they had to go to Target and get warm pants and sweaters and stuff. And really exciting to see how this story is going to unfold. I mean, last year, Captain Vanover, as the reserve champion, because Heads Up, who won, wasn't of age, got on television. And we're really excited with this partnership between MultiGP and DRL, how that storyline played out. And I can't wait to see what your camera crew here captured tonight. But 2 years in a row now, and they're going to be using that old footy. Heads Up FPV is a beast. You guys got to be excited to see him in 2020.
Couldn't be more thrilled. I mean, like you just said, he is a beast. The guy knows what he's doing. He puts in an amazing practice regimen. This guy's on his game, and he's here to give the rest of the guys a run for their money, and that's what we're excited for.
We are very excited about it. Of course, we're always excited to see DRL pilots at every MultiGP race. And of course, DRL, our presenting partner of champs. The Sim, our official Sim for the last 2 years running. You want to fly these courses? Fly it in the DRL Sim, not the clones. DRL Sim, the official Sim of MultiGP drone racing. And of course, coming up here in a couple of weeks, the next episode, NBC and Twitter as well. You'll see this guy and the fastest drone racers on television, including Captain Vanover, who is our third runner-up this year. So much to see. No secrets, but we know one thing for sure. 2020, Heads Up FPV, it's going to be a huge season.
That's right, and we're super excited for that. I want to see him smash some of these DRL pilots and take those DRL veterans and just kick them off the curb. You know what I mean?
Oh, man. Those OGs might be throwing some things at you. Of course,
they should be scared.
And Thor, I don't know if he's going to like that comment. Your ride to the airport,
oh, yes.
You might have to Uber.
This guy showed up to the airport like that with a giant sign in his ORQA costume. Was the best.
Well, how are you going to find Thor?
I don't know.
Are you just going to walk around Daytona International? I'm looking for Thor. I'm looking for Thor. You got to be careful where you say that.
Look for the ORQA. That's all you got to do.
Contract is printed. Trophies are ready. Thank you. Tony Niddle, better known as Canoodle. Let's get ready for our podium presentations to round out Saturday Night Live at the Race Day Quads 2019 MultiGP Drone Racing Championships presented by DRL. Podiums are in place. Contract printed because we had to wait until all the gear in place. Before we hand out this last little bit of hardware and crown our champions here for the 2019 season, there are many people that we need to thank. And of course, we've thanked so many times our sponsors of this championship. A million times. You see them on this wall. If you're watching this live stream on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, screenshot this right now. Because if you want to see drone racing continue to be great, it wouldn't be without the support of these sponsors right here. They have put so much money, promotion, and passion into our sport and this event. Screenshot it right now. And if any time throughout 2019 and 2020 you need parts, you're going to fly, you're going to watch something on television, don't watch golf, watch drone racing on NBC. You need new ESE stacks. You need to shop. Look at all these great sponsors. Support those who support drone racing. Without them, we wouldn't be able to hand out $10,000. We wouldn't be able to host a race in a stadium. We don't have that budget for the stadium events until 2019 with the great support of those behind me. Of course, we cannot thank enough the fuel of this event. This event has been, between last weekend and this weekend, so many man and woman hours, you can't even mathematically calculate it. We have been here with roll calls at 7 a.m. and before we started Champs Week till 3 a.m. We are talking 17, 18-hour days. And if it wasn't for the support of our volunteers last week and this week, we would still be setting up. We would still be hooking stuff up. So if you are in-house or even online, even if you're sitting at home, I know it's weird, but let's get weird together. let's put our hands together for the volunteers and staff of the Race Day Quads 2019 MultiGP Drone Racing Championship. Thank you for your support, your effort, your contribution. And if it wasn't for those volunteers, Chris Thomas, dude, I don't think we'd be able to walk anymore. So much conduit and PVC and vinyl.
We wouldn't have a race. They would be just flying around the field goals.
I wanted to ramble off a list of names, but there are many that just popped in and helped with one thing or two, and there are others that have been here from sun up to sundown. Again, 7 a.m. till 3 a.m. one day, and well, sometimes those alarms go off, and a coffee in the morning, you can get up and live another day. You know what? You can always sleep next week. Thank you to our volunteers. Thank you to the pilots as well. 79 pilots last week showing us that sport class is a thing. Yes, drone racers are passionate, and if they're gridded the same together, thanks to those 79 pilots that put their faith in MultiGP and attended last weekend by their flights, their airfare, their hotel, their parts, and their pilot tickets supporting this event, and their continued support of these sponsors behind us. Thank you, Sport Class pilots. Thank you to the 120 pilots that competed this weekend. The same commitment with tickets, airfare, and hanging out all weekend and racing. We hope that we delivered the pilot experience that you expected, and really, we truly hope that we exceeded any expectation that you gave for us. We feel pretty confident, but 2020 is going to be even better. Thanks to those watching the live stream here tonight as well. If it wasn't for you, our sponsors would not be supporting us at the level that they are as well. And also thanks to those that support those going up and down Drone Racing Road, the friends, the family, our spectators. Thanks for making this event great. I'm excited. Let's hand out $10,000, a contract, some trophies, and call it a day. What do you think, Chris Thomas?
That sounds good. I'm ready to do that. We've been racing here, but it's about time to finish this. Let's get our pilots out here.
Right on. We're going to do podium presentations while we slide over here. We do want to wish a happy birthday to Mako Reacta, I believe, celebrating her birthday today. And Seth PV celebrating his birthday this weekend as well. The RC Addict doing his thing. So we get set to make a presentation. A second runner-up, third on our podium. There's the trophy and the challenge coin that you cannot buy. You can only win. In addition to a grand total of $1,250 for their effort. Your second runner-up, third overall at the 2019 championship. Got a win, a third, and a fourth. Another podium at Champs. It is the king of the Vanny Roll. Alex Vanover, Captain Vanover, is third at championships.
Come on over here, Alex.
He's not going to make it here. He's out doing Vanny rolls, and here he is.
So we got you another one of these coins. You've got a little collection of them building up now, as well as this beautiful trophy. Add that to the rest of your trophies. It was amazing watching that racing out there. I mean, it was back and forth. When you took that first win and you prevented Evan from getting the Ironman clause, you could not imagine how wild it went back here. It was crazy. It was crazy. How'd that feel?
You know, it felt great. Man, I didn't have the same level of respect for Evan last year. And going into this event, I had a whole level of respect for him. I knew I had to take my game up. I was really, really nervous. Like, I asked any of my pit crew, any of the people who know me really well, last night I was really freaking out. I'm like, can I actually do this? Can I really do this? I was super nervous. There was no cockiness or anything like that. And you know what? Had a great race there. Getting that win was just amazing. But you know what? He came out on top, and I have a lot of respect for him. But he's going to be on DRL. He's with the big dogs now, and he's about to get a quick rude awakening on how much different it is. And we'll see. I got a year on experience you on DRL, but you know what? I'm not going to underestimate you.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
It's great. I really look forward to seeing what they can do out there, and we'll be watching you on the DRL. Congratulations. See you again next year.
Your second runner-up, third overall, and also a shout-out to Drone Mum watching right there. The guy who beat him 2 years in a row is going to get a rude awakening, Chris Thomas. I'm very excited to see that. Evan Turner is going to turn around. I just Turner rolled all over you, Vanny. Let's go to your reserve champion right now. Gets a lot of money, Chris Thomas. Thanks to our great sponsors, he's going to get $2,000. Holy, that's his magic number. 2G, he won Spec Class and the World Cup at I.O. Won World Cup twice, $2,000. I think he $2,500 in the $2,000 range. It's a lot of money. He's your reserve champion, qualified in the number 26 spot in the global ranking system. This is going to get a little freaky. If he does some gambling, maybe doing a little Keno or something here, it's all about the twos here in 2019.
All about the twos.
Twice a World Cup champion. Tonight, he's going to get $2,000. In Chase the Ace, he was 4th and 2 second places to finish up in the number 2 spot. From Melbourne, Australia, your reserve champion is BMS Thomas Binmata.
All right, so we've got some things for you here. Here you go, Thomas. Here's your trophy as well as your MultiGP coin. You know, while you did amazing at this event, this is actually the worst finish you've ever had on American soil. How does that make you feel?
Not really that bad at all. You know, always coming here is a special time. I mean, whenever we're traveling and racing, it's the best. But I mean, you know, to be here in America, it's sort of similar to Australia, but a little bit different. So already that's special. But you know, we've got such an amazing community here, and obviously, you know, everyone's super fast. So just to be here racing's the best. Making it into the finals, it was an awesome race. So got some really good DVRs, which I'll definitely be posting. So yeah, you know, it's just awesome to be here. I love flying with everyone, and yeah, pushing myself to the best. I was happy with the results. So yeah, next time go back for first. We'll see how we go. But yeah, super happy. So thank you so much to everybody. MultiGP event sponsors, team sponsors. You guys all helped me out and, you know, make this the best life it could possibly be. So thank you so much.
Well, I do have a question for you. You know, I see you're sponsored by Mission, which makes phenomenal tortillas, but how does that apply to drones?
Okay, so basically the Mission tortillas, they have a very special formula that makes you more mentally active by having fun and having good food. So yeah, definitely the best food, and yeah, 20% more speed guaranteed. So yeah, everyone buy Mission.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you were talking earlier on that if you won this event, that you were going to take a couple scoops of American soil back home because you always do so well when you're on American soil. Are you still going to take some?
Of course, I love America. It's great.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, and I hope to see you again at I.O.
Your reserve champion, BMS Thomas. Absolutely slayed it. What an exciting weekend for him. And then there was one. I handed over a trophy. I handed over that challenge coin, and not his first challenge coin at all. I think it's about his 4th, I think, that he's received from MultiGP. He's also going to get $4,000. He's also going to get a jersey tonight and a contract freshly printed off that printer we haven't used since 2016.
Hopefully.
A DRL contract on NBC and Twitter 2020. It's his second time that he has won this. He is your reigning 2-time champion. He's his second pilot to ever do that feat. It wasn't since 2015 and 16 we saw 2-time, and now 2018, 2019 world champion of drone racing. He was your TQ of qualifying. He made Chase the Ace 10,000 more times interesting than you could have ever scripted it. They're going crazy back home in Marysville, Tennessee for their boy, Heads Up FPV, MultiGP's 2-time champion, Evan Turner.
Well, you know, you had us worried there for a minute. You went into that first race, and of course, had you finished it first, you would have just shut it down. But I really like the way that it turned out. This being now the second time in a row to see you win this thing, the way you fly doesn't seem real. Is there some sort of mutation, some sort of exposure to gamma rays? What is the secret? Because everybody out here wants to know, how do they do what you just did?
Well, my dad's pretty clumsy, so there may have been I might have been dropped at some point, or I really don't know. But at the end of the day, it just comes down to just putting the time in and just over and over and over again, getting used to the competition. And at the end of the day, it's all about having fun. I don't like to try and overstress at these races. I just try and come out and make it just seem like a vacation. So I had fun, and then this is just a bonus. So at the end of the day, I'm really excited.
That's awesome. Well, as much as I try to be unbiased, I can't help but say that when I see you on the DRL show soon, I don't know how I can not root for you after seeing you just win these competitions back to back. Do you have a plan in mind when you go in there? How are you going to establish yourself? Are you going to be mean right up front? Are you going to try to be nice and get along with everybody? Like, what do you plan to do?
Well, first off, I'd like to just thank you personally, because I remember meeting you 3 years ago at the Joan All, and that was my first race ever. You were there, and we've worked up to this point now, and it's like I've seen you at all these races. So the things you've been able to build and work with these organizations, it's really incredible to me that I've been able to do this through an organization like MultiGP Grassroots, from nothing to something. As far as DRL, I respect all the pilots. They have proved that they are among the best. They're on the show for a reason, and they have the experience over me. They definitely have they're really good. So I'll go in, try and do my best, and then, results are results. So at the end of the day, really respect them, and just want to go out there and give them my all.
Well, thanks for the compliment. I do appreciate that. Congratulations, and you better watch out, because you're going to have a lot of people gunning for you. Thanks.
Wow. Wowee. Twice a champ. The contract is his. Now he's going to get his very own Racer 4. We're excited about that. Now, the other thing that I forgot to mention, Chris Thomas, that kind of went by is, imagine this. Not only do you get some money and stuff like that, but you get to go on a trip with your buddy Scully, maybe CT if you can free up the time. Your top 3 get a little trip to go to Korea in 2020.
Oh, yeah.
And so, as long as they accept, and I know that FPVR is probably going to have some discussions, blah, 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 blah. But your MultiGP Team USA at International Drone Sport Championship 2020 is going to be potentially BMS Thomas, Vanover, and Heads Up FPV USA with our newest Patriot, BMS Thomas from Melbourne, Florida. Melbourne, Florida.
There you go. I like that. That works for me.
We'll see how it plays out. We do have legal Zoom on the horn with Andre's cell phone. If not, it'll be Drobot Racer. So Drobot Racer, don't worry about it. You might be there. Congratulations to all of our pilots. What an exciting 2 weekends. What do you think? Final thoughts, Chris Thomas?
Oh man, every year we do this, and every year I wonder, how are we going to top it? And somehow we've managed to do it, but I think we may have plateaued, Joe. I don't know how we're going to beat this with these 2 weekends. It was absolutely surreal.
Well, maybe an ultra sport class, maybe I don't know, maybe a gauntlet in 2020. Not tonight. We got to go.
There you go.
Maybe. Well, on behalf of the entire cast and crew, again, lastly, we cannot thank those volunteers enough. I know I just did it, but thank you to our entire staff for the 2019 Race Day Quads MultiGP Championship presented by DRL. I mean, I don't want to single any out, but Josh killing it here on track 1 on the race direction and the commentary here this weekend. Emily helping us out huge over here on this scoring, but so many heroes behind the scenes like Stark, who is the Paul Adkins of track number 2. I mean, the entire Elder family. You had Michelle Brooks doing the DVR reviews. That's just this weekend. So many heroes last weekend, this weekend. There's Andre, our volunteer coordinator. If you enjoyed the live stream, you saw Doug, the boys in the truck. There is the best tablet scanner in the business, Bruce Elder, on the screen. That's it. only quit once, and that was after 14 hours of tablet scanning. He's like, I gotta quit, man. I haven't had a break all day, and I quit right after him. So thanks to all the volunteers, each and every one of you. We'll send you personal thank you notes, but we certainly appreciate that. All these great sponsors, of course, our title sponsor, Tyler Brennan, Race Day Quads, and Buddy. Part support, and again, great sponsor right there. How about a sponsor, guys, that stays to the end? Have you ever seen that before? He is still here. And there's no after party except the Waffle House. Thank you, Tyler Brennan. What do you guys do for Race Day Quads? This is their championship too. DRL, the entire team. Thank you, Nick and Ryan, who are watching this live stream. Hopefully, don't judge, peace and love. But thank you to Canoodle, Tony Canoodle, who's here, Nelson Aquino, of course, the entire team, a lot of DRL pilots. Nurk is here representing a lot of the whole camera crew, because 2020 Heads Up FPV is on there, and I cannot wait until they play the clip back from Vanover saying, oh yeah, what did he say? He said something like, you better look out when you go there. I can't wait till they play that back the first time, second time, third time. I'm not picking favorites, but the third time that Heads Up beats Vanny. That's a Turner roll. Well, congratulations to all the pilots. And again, thanks for watching this live stream. We're going to send it off with our many sponsors. They're on the back. Thank you for your support. We will see you when we come back here in 2020.
That's right. Thanks, Paul Atkins. If you guys are still here and would like to have a lot of fun, we're going to start taking down some of the gates. We're going to take down some gates. We need at least 4 persons to take the big gates down. So right now I got 2 on the field. I was number 3. If you want to help, if you love America, if you think that we should always remain free in this country, if you don't believe in giving up those liberties, just make your way out to the field, grab a hold of a gate, just help us set them down. That way we will eventually get home and see our families. We will one day return to a regular life. I have to remember the names of my children, but that doesn't typically take too long. Just make them wear name badges for a couple of days.
This is a preview file. This is a preview file. This is a preview file. This is a preview file.
Try to make that call again. We could use a little bit of help on the field to pull down some of those bigger gates. I need a couple of people. If you could help us pull down those bigger gates, that would help us. Andre, who's out in the field with the red hat, just needs a few extra hands to take those large gates down. We could really use your help to help us pull some of those large gates down. If you just take 3 or 4 minutes of your time to thank those volunteers who are out there working by giving them just
This is a preview file. 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 This is a preview file.